The stage is set. The summer split is reaching its climax. 1 week separates us all from Leagues Disrupt in Sweden and the champion of NLC Summer 2025. First up, Nord versus Verdant. A clash of history and destiny. Nord, a team that made back-to-back finals.
And that is a double kill picked up on the Hiddo. As Zero goes down, triple kill picked up the Hiddo. Make that the quadra kill.
Losing both of them. But they were seen as the only rivals versus Rats. They came back stronger than ever with a roster stacked with stars, legends. But this time, the Giants are on the brink. They are now facing elimination. For the first time, the finals might just slip away, and with them, their chance at EMEA Monsters as well. On the other side, Verdant, a team haunted by the curse of 4th place in 2025. But this split, they rewrote the script. Legendary names joined Senkax.
Rumbling at the seams. That's a triple kill. That's the quadra kill. This Senna is huge.
Reinforcements everywhere. And now Verdant have a solid shot. They are hungry, dangerous, and ready to break the curse. The winner will continue climbing the mountain towards Leagues Disrupt in Sweden, and also secure the ticket for the EMEA Master Summer. Then on August 21st, the Battle of Styles. Los Ratones, a force of nature, unstoppable. No matter how a game begins, they always find a way back. Their macro is unmatched, their experience overwhelming. They pull teams into their trap and leave no escape. Ironic for a rat, but waiting for them.
Faust looking for more. Crowdy's sped up. He is a very speedy bee, and he doesn't die after stinging just the once. And it's not even him who gets the kill, it's Faust on the AP Kraken. On that golden path. Another step forward, another one up the ladder, another one up the mountain. They have been the best all year. They are the best today.
Which gang? Did you expect him here? Yet they've smashed through the upper bracket. Ruthless, relentless, kings of the early game.
Steadfast presence, it's an utter bloodbath. Yunara against the rumble, Kemo stepping on forward.
Oh my god, hold on!
Unlimited power!
The mission is clear. Extermination of the play. Their fire burns brightest in the opening minutes of a match. But can they hold that flame long enough to take down the Rats? Whoever loses from this one will have another chance at the lower bracket to fly to Sweden. 3 matches, 2 starters colliding, 1 champion to be crowned. This is the Northern League of Legends Championship Summer Split. Who will rise, who will fall, and who will rule the North? Who will make it to Sweden? Welcome everyone to the last day online of the Summer Split 2025. This is it. We fought non-stop to get to this point of the ladder, and only 2 teams remain. Yesterday, the Rats qualified to Sweden. They're comfortable the back-to-back-to-back. And today, we have another team. The one who loses is done. It is over. One final try for these 2 teams. My name is Ilshan Maya. I will be your host for the day. I'm not alone. I'm blessed to have 2 people with me on the desk. It's Salari and Eragon. How are we doing?
How could we be doing today on this day when we decide who is going to Sweden, who is not going to Sweden?
They might go, but as spectators.
They might go, but as spectators, exactly. It'll be promoted to viewers, as you say.
No, I'm getting excited as well. I feel like it's just a culmination, it's a build-up, and finally we get to see who the final challenger is for Los Ratones. I'm super excited as well, yeah. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Today is a rematch, but might as well show you back at home where we stand. It's the last one of playoffs. If you look into the lower part of it, Verdant versus Rich Gang. Today, they're both qualified for EMEA. Regardless of what happens, they'll be fighting in Summer Split and defending NLC back-to-back trophy. But before they do that, they still have a chance to make it to Sweden, to Leagues Disrupt, and also to face Los Ratones one final time. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. And while we talk about what happened yesterday, let's take a look at what happened yesterday. Hey, Aragon, you had the pleasure to cast this one.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a wash, wasn't it? Like, this was the start, I believe this was game 1, where Bowsy single-handedly carried a game off of proxying tier 3 and then running down to Dragon, and there was just a crazy tense moment where Ozhan face-checked and Baus got a 2-man combo. And yeah, just every single game it felt like Lost Returners played well early, mid, late. They played well with leads, and then they also came back. They just did it all.
My impression of yesterday's series was that in first 2 games, that was not Lost Returners that we were watching. And I've had people ask me, like, is somebody playing instead of Baus? Did they put audio in front of the computer? Because their early game has never been as clean as it was yesterday. But then game 3 came, and game 3 made us realize that, hey, no, it's alright, that's still Lost Returners, because they started losing early game quite dramatically. And it looked like it could have been a series, it could have been the game 3 curse for Lost Returners hitting yet again. But no, that didn't happen. They somehow had this question mark moment somewhere in the middle of the game, and despite some mishaps that still happen, especially looking at Velia in that last game, they still won the whole series.
Yeah, and I think just quickly, I just want to address, like, I've seen a couple comments saying, oh, you know, Lost Returners, they don't have that bad early games. If you look at the stats, their pre-15-minute stats are pretty decent, but like, we're looking at the top teams when they play against the top teams, as well as they're often even in goal, but they will drop kills, right? Baus will have like 5 deaths in the early game pretty often because game plans revolve around that, despite being even gold. And when that's not happening, that's when we say, you know, it's a complete wash. That's the kind of losing early that we typically mean.
And somehow they fixed that as well. So
Yeah.
even that little weakness they had is no longer the weakness, because I know in mid-game they always come back. We've seen it times and times again. It's like, you know, you're watching Marvel movies and you get to the point, yeah, the good guys win in the end. This is like Los Ratones, the end at the end.
Yeah.
So it's complicated. But regardless of that, not even their weakness is alive anymore. So I don't know who's going to win from today, Rich Gang or Verdant. So that's why I need to see predictions. Hey, Aragon, yesterday you were blessed, enlightened.
Yeah, you know what? The scream is justified. I think, okay, look, listen, I saw the future. I had a vision. Okay? I saw Rich Gang. They were gonna 3-0. But I got the timeline wrong, right? So it was between yesterday and today, and I just saw it too early. It's actually going to be today. Rich
Don't
Gang
take this
are
graphic.
3-0ing. I saw it. It came to me. It's happening. And
Okay,
don't
Aragon,
come crying to
look.
me when you're wrong.
Look at the pictures of everybody. Initialize is judging you, Solari is judging you, Trouble Link is judging you. I'm just happy to be alive, but everyone else on this graphic is judging you.
Literally.
Yeah. Look, the first one through the gate always gets bloody. It's how it is. You have to be the one to put your foot down, and you have to take it. So I'm just going to go with my gut instinct here. I'm going to say Rich Gang 3-0.
Okay. You know what, Solari, what's your take on this?
My take is, I could not believe my eyes yesterday when I saw Aragon's prediction. I could not believe it today that he did it twice in a row. Little bro had a vision. Okay, we'll see about that after.
Nah, but
That's
you
the
believed it could
3-0
happen
on the
because
other
I said
side.
that.
No,
You believed
not for
it
a
could have
single
happened.
second.
No, okay,
No.
well-
Inception. A dream
It's happening
within a
today, trust me.
dream. Trust you. Okay, chat, do you trust him? I don't know. It's up to you. I'll look into the chat from time to time to see what you're talking, and I'll try to introduce it on the broadcast. So bring in your comments and your predictions as well on what do you think is going to happen today. Regardless of that, you know what's happening next week? Leagues Disrupt. The second time we're going to Sweden, Stockholm, Hovet Arena. Use that QR code. Tickets are selling extremely fast nowadays. So use this opportunity to join us on this big event. We have K-pop. We have ducklings cooking as well. Trouble will be there. It's going to be lovely. I just said it's going to be lovely. Anything you want to add? Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
I just
nothing
doubled
to
down.
add.
I feel like I've been here every single week and I've been gassing up Sweden. Even though I've never been there, man. I'm just excited for the
True.
exploration. I want to have a day where I just wander through the town. That sounds like a banger, to be honest. Because I'm sure the place looks lovely.
I
Even
want one
Duckling is
thing.
excited about Sweden for once, and if Duckling is excited about Sweden, you know it's
Imagine.
gonna be a good one.
Yeah. He was like, this country might be good. And hey, if Duckling is saying that about Sweden, I'm excited about it. But also, I'm
like-
excited to
Yeah.
taste the best food in Sweden that was said by Baus yesterday.
Oh,
Chicken nuggets.
oh, he's going to Mackey's, isn't he? I mean, completely based, by the way. That is...
Yeah.
You know that man is British at heart, I feel. You know he is.
What?
'cause
Is that an
going to-
insult?
No, the British have the best, culinary taste, I think, of anyone. And I just
Wow!
he has earned the title. You know what, Baus? If you ever want to be knighted as an official English man, you have my permission. I will do it for you.
How would you knight him? You don't even have a sword, buddy.
Hey, look, I had nuggets yesterday. I had chicken nuggets yesterday. Look, I'm just saying, it's giga base.
You can't knight someone with a chicken nugget. It doesn't work like that. You need a sword. And by the way,
I can
Solari
borrow
has
one of
a lot
Solari's
to
sword.
spare.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
How many
That
do you
goes
have?
nicely.
I think it's 5, isn't it?
It's 2 here. It's 4 more here. I think that's it.
4 more over there, hidden. By the way, just hidden. Hey, you look lovely. By the way, that dress is it's stunning.
Thank you. It's
It is stunning. Chat, what do you think about the dress? I think it's beautiful. By the way, people are saying they're eating Swedish nuggies, so I think it's a theme. Chicken
different
nuggets
than
are
any
really
other
good in
nuggets?
Sweden.
How are
I
they
don't know.
different?
I no longer know.
How do the
But I
races
know
taste
one
there?
thing. This is it. This is the last one, by the way.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last game show online.
No! Oh! You had to ruin the mood, yeah?
Listen to this beautiful sound. You
I
can
struggled.
participate, chat. Tell me.
Last time I struggled. Is this easier or no?
It's
Like
not
last time it
easy.
was really difficult. Is it harder? Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, let me
Roll again.
introduce you. Who am I? Summoner's Rift Edition.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Clean your glasses, Aragon. Take this opportunity. What I want to
can't, I
say
don't have time.
is, I will present an image from Summoner's Rift itself. In each image, there are 3 things that are wrong. You'll have to tell me what it is, and you'll get awards for points if you get it correct. This is not an easy game, and this was not even easy for production to do this, by the way. I love your
Okay.
production and graphics. I'm so sorry for doing this. Chat, good luck. Present
Lock
me
in,
the first
Solari.
image. What is wrong on this image?
There are supposed to be trees around the Baron pit, like around the walls. No, there are some. No, wait, they're there. I'm just playing. Sorry.
So you have no idea.
Not yet.
Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. Give us a chance,
Okay.
okay?
No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I'm sure the payoff will be worth it for waiting for me to try and get it, and I won't come up with nothing.
Ready?
Shit!
The left corner
there-
looks suspicious. The
What left
entrance of
corner?
The jungle. The lower left corner looks very suspicious.
Ah, from the blue buff to the Verdant pit?
Yes, I feel like it should be wider.
Nah, it's good.
Nah, I think that's... What about the left side of the Baron pit, the wraparound wall to the river? Like, I feel like that looks a bit naked, you know what I mean? I just a bit sus.
That is one of them. Good job.
Okay,
On the
it
left,
is.
on the left.
Okay.
Yes.
Close to the tree trunk. That's something that has
Yes.
changed.
Yes,
Next
yes,
one.
Yes.
That
Next
has-
one?
There's way too much banners. I mean, I see your point. No, there's 3 things on this image.
Are we looking? Is it the entire screen? Like, be realistic. Is it the entire screen or no?
No, there's 3 things. You got one right.
Wait. On the very top of it, like above the Baron pit and a little bit to the right, there are like 2 tree trunks. Isn't there supposed to be one of them there? That looks suspicious.
There's a weird face in the right of the screen. In the red buff wall, there's like a
Face?
weird face. I mean, I feel like we're tunneling way too much on the detail.
Hey, red buff, is that it?
Yes.
Okay,
that
I'm gonna
correct?
lock that in. And the final one. Chat, can you get it?
I feel like my forehead is huge on the camera now.
Wait, what?
That's not what you were
Stop.
supposed to look at!
Kinda. Let's reveal the real one.
Okay.
Oh!
What?
The entrance on the Verdant pit on the bottom, the
What is the
left
bottom right?
wall,
Yeah.
and then on the red buff.
What's the
Okay.
Baron wall difference right there in the middle?
The
Like, I
tree
actually
trunk.
can't tell you.
Can you show me the previous one, production? See?
Ah.
See?
Oh, that's diabolical.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's
Let's
really
move to the
horrible.
second
That is
one.
incredibly difficult.
Bottom lane. What is wrong with this image? Thank
My
you.
dear Lord.
Thank you.
Nothing?
Nothing is
Yeah, you know, sometimes production, you try a little bit too hard, right?
You're too good production. I'm sorry. That's not allowed.
I mean, I feel like there's like a scheme here to make us look as dumb as possible, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, Is this?
I'm gonna give you a
obvious?
tip. I'm gonna give you a tip.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
give us a
We
hint.
are on the new theme, Spirit Blossom. On the cove, you know, where you run away and you try to hide as a support. Usually, there's something different over there.
Is there a waterfall? Or no?
Kind
I wrong?
of something.
Like a fountain?
The deer has
something?
always been there. Yeah, the deer has always been there. Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Okay.
Okay, what do you want to lock in, Eragon? Tell me.
I thought there was like some kind of water feature by the alcove, but I guess I'm wrong. I have no clue. I'm gonna be real with you.
In the
This is
middle of the
crazy.
lane, do you think it's okay? Do you think the line is like this? Hey,
What is this,
Production!
man? What have you created?
show me the results so they understand.
Nah, this is a joke, by the way. Wait, I was right. Isn't that like a water feature? Isn't that a fountain?
It's a
not?
sort of it's lights. It's a face. There
I
was
thought
no
this
face
was a
before.
fountain. Ah.
You know what? I'll give you a
Okay.
point. This is
What
really
is
hard.
that
This
in
is
the
really
middle?
hard.
Is that a fox? On the middle of the lane? Is that a
I
fox?
think it's just
little
the Spirit Blossom. Yeah, it's the emblem of the Spirit Blossom.
Ah,
You know what? Let's present the last one.
okay.
Hey, chat, you have been right all the time, so we tried to make something different.
That isn't
Okay.
meant to be there. That isn't
What?
meant to be there.
What?
That
What?
little rock in the center left of my screen, that by the entrance of that is meant to be bare there. No, like
Huh?
this isn't meant to be there.
What?
Underneath the Arozzi banner, these rocks around there, something's wrong.
Suspicious.
The
They
rocks
weren't normal, were they?
around.
I agree.
The pavement.
Oh, the pavement.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's there. This is how it
Ah!
looks. This is
Okay.
of
Okay,
all
okay.
things.
Wait. The LoL esports banner, the right stone to the right of it. It looks.
Okay. So
That
it
is
should be
definitely
another
wrong.
flower. Is that it?
I think it should be another flower.
I'll give you that one, Solani. There's a point for you. Come on, there's two
okay.
more. There's two more.
Bottom left statue. Is that meant to be there?
The statue,
I've
it
never
is.
seen that.
But look at
I've never seen
the
that in my
bottom
life.
left. Look at the bottom left
face.
again. Look at the bottom left. There's a face. It should be there. What else? Look at the nature. You don't see any difference.
Yeah, there is something wrong on the stones there. Like a little bit to the top and left from the mouse.
What is this, man? What do you mean? Am I supposed to look at every pixel of every tree on the map
Yes.
to be able to play your games? Like, what are you doing?
How are you an analyst if you don't do that on a daily basis?
Okay, tell me something. When you
ridiculous.
leave the base,
Stop lane players.
there's a few steps. Do you think it's 3, 2, or 1?
Oh my god.
Oh my dear lord, this three.
Correct, chat. Dark. Darker. You got it. You got it.
Bush.
Portark.
Strange.
You also got it, Portark.
What
You
the
know what?
hell
Reveal
does
it.
the bush-
Reveal it.
Okay.
Reveal it.
Oh, the two
You
steps.
see the difference? There's a like the flower. You got it. It's only 2 steps, and then the massive difference.
Oh my god.
The massive difference.
Chat, you got it right.
Wow.
This is crazy. Yo, can we have a discussion about where we put our resources? I feel like this has been done too well. Like, it's too much. It is way too much. How does it actually look like realistic artwork?
This means
We don't deserve
our
our
graphic
production.
producer should be working for Rito in the Summoner's Rift.
Yeah.
And
what
the
I'm
game
saying.
show. You
For
didn't
what?
land a single one.
Oh, you said I
Everyone.
got a point. You
I
said
did.
I got a
Everyone
I got
won.
a point.
Everyone won.
All right.
Right? No? Chat,
Everyone
who won? Chat decides on who won.
Chat.
There you go. Yeah, I agree with
They're
chat.
saying no one. I mean,
Yes.
someone's lying. Someone in the chat straight up lying, saying, I got all 3, baby. Absolutely no, you did not.
I think at
No,
the end
you
of the
did
day,
not.
it was
Hot
Trouble
talk.
who won this.
What?
Yeah, there
Ow.
you go. Yeah. Production won.
Aragon
Actually,
won.
yeah.
You know what? Darker BG, I like you. I agree. See, I've got a
Production
voucher.
won. I think production won. But we're gonna win today by watching the series ahead of us. It's gonna be Rich Gang versus Verdant. This was a really hard game show, by the way. Let's look into this one. Verdant versus Rich Gang.
Oh.
And hey, we saw Rich Gang yesterday, okay? So if possible, we might even start with Verdant. It has been a while since we've seen Verdant, so 2 days. Let's recall how they played and look at this team. SLT, Dunka, Senkax, Devon, and Tore. This is a rematch, by the way, in the previous time. Rich Gang won 2-1. I think it was well-disputed series, but what can we say overall?
Look, I was looking back at how Verdant have been playing throughout the playoffs so far. This is their series versus Nord, obviously, but the interesting thing to me is every highlight that you'll be looking at in this B-roll package, I need you to be looking at Tore, because Tore is incredible. Tore does a lot of heavy lifting for the team, and it's like Devon gets a lot of praise, obviously, and Senkax as well, because they scoring a lot of kills, they scoring a lot of those shutdowns, but it's not always Tore setting things up for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite funny. We were looking at the clips backstage, and it's like, wait, these are all Tore clips. Wait, we went and found Verdant highlights, and every highlight is Tore doing something epic. Oh, okay, he's just the GOAT, right? Is he MVP? Well, I mean, there's a discussion for it, right? I mean, it's just absolutely mental how much Tore does for this team, to the point where it just feels like no matter how you praise them, Tore has to be at the forefront of every single point that you make. It's ridiculous how much he does.
Oh, his poppy was absurd, by the way, in that series versus Nord. And it's not the first time he pulls out that poppy. The sheer fact that he pulled that out against VZ Chachi, against the Chachi poppy that we usually see, and then played her so well and so aggressively. Like, you can usually see that he's the one to set up the fights for the team. And that's why he prefers the champions with a lot of control, because the team actually relies on a lot of control. I bet we're gonna talk about the draft a bit later, but they love to draft around having a lot of control for the team fight setups.
Yeah, mostly it started bringing the heavyweights. When we talk about the tip of the spear, well, we look into Tore, is not only the tip of the spear, is the last part of the spear, is the shield, is the armor, is everything. And his champion pool is ridiculous. You can do everything.
Yeah. I think the name of the game for Tore is the most impactful CC possible in every single game, right? Like, you have Poppy Ws and good Poppy games and good matchup like into Alice, so you have Bard into immobile carries, making sure you play around that ulti. Everything revolves around him. Diving side lane with Alice. These picks are very game warping, and you can see just from them, you know, even the Blitzcrank you throw in there as well, the game revolves around him as well. So yeah, just a very iconic champion pool for a player that wants to take the game by the reins and 1v9 quite a bit.
It's interesting because we were talking about Verdant and the way they played before versus Rich Gang, for instance, where they lost because they keep playing that scaling draft, and then they fall into the trap of trying to scale but team fighting every single time they have an opportunity. And once we saw them versus Nord, I don't think this is longer the case. I think this Verdant team is quite different. I mean, they took out Nord. Everybody was expecting Nord to go to Sweden, for instance. Eragon, you didn't because you thought Rich Gang were going to win Los Ratones Trio. But the rest of the individuals thought Nord would make it to finals. So can you tell me, verbalize it, the difference between Verdant versus Rich Gang and the Verdant versus Nord we got?
I think, look, listen.
Okay.
I think
oh boy, easy.
It's difficult. Look, it's difficult. Scaling. I think Verdant's a phenomenal team. And I think over the course of the split, they've gotten better and better and better at their identity. I'm trying to grasp at straws for what I think Verdant do the best in the league. And I do think that they play to size extremely well. And I do think they play their scaling game really, really well. It started pretty poorly, to be honest. Like, I remember casting the early split games with Hipbrain, and we were just sitting there like, damn. You know, they take a long time to come online, but like as the split has gone on, I feel like they've been better at refining their gameplay to the point where they can actually achieve their win conditions without messing up along the way and delaying games for no reason, like losing dragons here and there for zero reason. I think that, or taking fights, right? We had a conversation with the coach name has escaped me, Akali, exactly. Yeah. Where it's like I agreed with them. I said before the show, you know, they're fighting too much on spikes that aren't for them. They should wait a little bit. They can cross map potentially a dragon that they don't need to, rather than just fighting and delaying a game because they lose it before a spike. And that's really the read I have on Verdant, is that they've gotten better at knowing when they can fight.
We're talking about a team that is facing the team that likes to play for the early game. So if one team likes to scale and the other one wants to battle on the early game, let's talk about Rich Gang and the roster of Rich Gang. We saw them yesterday, so it's also like a really small cooldown window for them to prepare for this one. It's like we have to fight versus the Rats, which is a climb on the mountain, and now we have to fight again versus Verdant, which is a really complicated team to fight against as well. So what can we say about this composition of Rich Gang?
This composition I have a beef with it, but I'll tell you about it a little bit later when we're going to be looking into actually their
have a
last
beef
series
with it?
Verdant. Yes, I do, but it's a very respectful one, so don't worry. It's nothing too bad. I promise. But this composition, they surprised me a lot in Game 3 versus Los Ratones because it felt like they actually might have understood what was happening in the first 2 games, and they were playing very aggressively into Los Ratones in the beginning of the last game when it looked like they could have been winning that. But it's again, not being on the correct timers on the objectives, not always taking the team fights that they're ready to take. Like those small things that might not be punishable this time against Verdant, but that were very heavily hitting them in that series.
But that's also versus the Reds. Tell me, Aragon, before I move. Yeah.
It's just, when I think of Rich Gang versus LR yesterday, I just think of heartbreak on that last game, right? They had 3 dragons, they had Soul Point with a Smolder on 225, and it's just chain picks after chain picks after chain picks, and they lose in the only way possible versus, quite honestly, a composition that they completely counter and had a lead into in every conceivable way. It's just disaster, really.
I think it's a fair argument to say that they were not mentally prepared as well. The idea of playing versus the Reds, it's not easy. Like 31 years plus of experience overall, competitive experience. We talked about Aragon.
Experience and also just the way that they came in with a game plan that they completely altered and changed by the end of the series, where they drafted initially to match the full scaling, right? They drafted full scaling. I believe we're going to get drafts at some point soon.
Eventually. Let's talk about how they behave versus Verdant then, before we go deep into the draft. Because this is the good part of Rich Gang.
Yeah, so that is actually what I have the beef with, because that is a really good part of Rich Gang, and that is their AD carry. I know I keep talking about Kevo a lot, but it's not just because he's Finnish, I promise. It's also because he picks up a lot of those hyper carries, and when the team actually plays around those hyper carries of his, when they protect him, when they give him space, he delivers wonderful results. We see him getting those clutch plays in the team fights a lot of the time, like we just saw on the screens right now. But my problem with the team is that they don't always do that. We see him sometimes speaking things, even like Smolder, for example, that everybody needs to be protected and everybody needs to be playing around from pretty early on. And then it's like they completely forget that they have this win con of this guy who can deliver if you just invest in him a little bit more.
Yeah, it's tragedy. I completely agree with you. Yesterday, that's exactly what lost them the game, right? They had a 2-2-5 Smolder. They just needed to Death Ball and ARAM and protect Kevo, let Kevo poke, and they win the game for free, 99 games out of 100. And it just feels like, maybe they should value Kevo a little bit more in these scenarios, because oftentimes, he's contesting best AD carry in the league. He really, really is. He's had a phenomenal split, and I really think, in that game in particular, maybe we could have gone the distance to 4 games or 5 games if Rich Gang had won that and bounced back in the series.
Yesterday we talked about it on the pre-show with Trouble and Jamada, that Kevo is the only one who was able to face Crowny stats and actually come out on top, which is not the usual thing. We always talk about Crowny the first, and for the first time we got to see someone with better stats. It's no longer the case after the series yesterday. But yeah, you need to protect that. And when you talk about, Rich Gang not being Rich Gang, this is when we get to see them versus Los Ratones. It was the only defeat, by the way, during this split. It was a heavy defeat,
these this is painful to watch. This was where Rich Gang, they got caught bot lane by a Rise ulti, Nemesis calling for it consistently in comms. If you went back and listened, they get picked off bot side. This is like the downfall slowly happening. And then Matix comes in with 2 items. Unkillable champion at this stage. If he has any kind of numbers behind him at all, gets picked off here by the Reckless Engage into Chain CC, and Ozhan and Alaric can't make it in time. Midwave is being caught by the carries. And this is, again, how they lose Soul with a 2-2-5 almost Smolder. And again, another pick. And then after this, we're going to see one more pick just to cap it all off. Losing in the only way possible, which is incredibly tilting, by the way, because you don't even need to review it, right? You played by the book, you played incredibly well, you don't even need to review it. You just see it happening in real time, and you know exactly what happened afterwards. Here, the last pick, and that converts into a dash.
This one hits me so hard. The fact that Kevo is dying here, no one is protecting him.
Why is he there all alone? He's just a little baby dragon. Like, there is Ozhan around, there is... Somebody needs to be there to protect him, to peel for him, to cover him maybe with their own bodies, because there are bodies on the team. I really need to see them cherishing what happening in today's series.
So let's talk about the way they draft as well. Aragon, you were getting to that point, so let's bring the draft versus Los Ratones, the first one, second, and third one. What do you want to highlight here?
Okay, Listen, the most important dynamic to me is the fact that this team is a Wukong team, but I think it's the wrong champion for them. Secondly, I want you to look at Game 2 draft. Okay? There is zero reliable setup and CC or prio to be able to work with. It was in the matchup where Orianna can't necessarily always get prio or walk up because she's against a ganking jungler. And what this does is it really puts Ozan on a leash, right? Top lane B1 Ambessa is a crazy pick when Volibear's up and Renekton's up and so on. I know Baus is the biggest Renekton player, but just having no prio lanes to work around is a big mistake. I feel like if you want to activate your really strong jungler, carry jungler that you've recruited for your team. And then in the last one, that's more like it. They've realized, wait, guys, we need more CC. We need more setup. We're going to draft Alaric, his CC setup champion that's more reliable than Rakan W. And we can play through bot or mid here.
Yeah, and you also got that Aatrox, but which I think is a winning condition when you probably actually put him on a winning spot. When Aatrox gets to Aatrox, the world ender, as you stated before, I think that's when we need to highlight the top laners, because it's not something we do with these two teams. We often look into Torre, you look into Alaric, but the champion pool is almost identical. Hey, that Aurora, I would cut it. I swear, I would just delete that Aurora. I don't think it's legal to be there. That game was, Aside from that,
Solari,
perfect.
can I ask you a question, Solari? You've followed Matix for a while now, right? Has this pool always been this kind of very like bog standard top lane, beefy boy, kind of impactful CC champion pool?
Yeah.
Is that always been his identity?
Honestly, yeah, it's always been pretty much of a big Sunday player and a big composer player on the top lane. That is pretty standard, to be honest, for Polish top laners. It's usually what we pivot into by default. But yeah, he's always been very much a Sunday guy, pick me something I can weak side easily guy.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that I wanted to highlight with this graphic is this just the champion pool overlap is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
I feel like what this is today for top lane, at the very least in terms of matchups, is a battle of the bog standard, very role player top lanes, and that's not a negative thing. I like that. That's my favorite kind of top laner, where you play whatever's meta and you're good at it. You're really, really solid in general. You're never going to be the lose con for your team, and you're going to carry games as well. So I just think Matix versus SLT, it's a battle of the best top laner overall in the league, I think, outside of Bausi, who, you know, he's got his own thing going on.
It's just different. And when you talk about these sort of top laners, we often look into SLT and we're like, what are you doing? But there are some moments where you can actually see him. And look at the damage. The damage graph is just absurd through the last cities versus the North. I think you brought in the Aatrox highlight. That was...
Oh, yeah?
Menacing to watch.
The world ender. I mean, the world ender at SLT, I had to. I mean, I don't normally just get highlights from one game to show, but the stabs, pew, you know, it's kind of crazy. Because every single...
You to do the voiceover!
Every single time, it's just absolutely mental. I mean, the constant combos here, the team fights, the consistent stabs, the massive Q2 right there, the sploosh. I mean, it's just massive, isn't it? This entire game was so entertaining to watch, and he consistently crushed everyone that even walked at him.
Yeah. It's just, if only SLT also had better teleport timings from time to time, he would be probably one of the best top laners, full stat. But sometimes, unfortunately, he gets caught up in a TP that wasn't supposed to be here. And I understand that he wants to be in the middle of the fight all the time, and usually the champions that he picks allows for that as well, but not always.
Watch this. Oh, slam! Yo, that was so nice, man. The damage. I love watching Fed Aatrox. Has to be one of the most satisfying champs of the game. Just seeing a heal up for 500 health on an auto attack and then never dying is great. I really like that. Just abusing
Let's see if he's going to shine today. This is an opportunity to go into Sweden, to go into Stockholm, and we jump into Champion Select 1. Rumble Unada being removed. Okay, what is your thought, Verdant?
Verdant thought is, okay, Unada being removed makes a lot of sense. We just saw Hovet performing on that, and that's still one of those AD carries that everybody's scared about. I am really worried that Rich Gang might try to lock their top lane blindly or in the first rotation. I wish that doesn't happen, because as much as we're talking about Matix being able to play those buffier champions, he performs so well when he's playing something aggressive. I want to see something with power on the top lane.
Yeah, I think when you look at the champions that have been banned as well by Rich Gang, they're setting up with a Maokai ban, which is pretty uncommon. That tells me they're trying to fish for something like a Wukong comp. That's Ozan best champion, but also Maokai can be a decent answer into it because it's AP. I wonder if they're going to go for a Wukong comp immediately off the bat. There's a lot of OP champs available. They might pick it later on, but that's what that ban is telling me. Champions like Annie work really well with Wukong, but we'll have to see exactly what they go for here. And it looks like it's going to be the Insta Slap. They value this champ a lot. Best answers into this are usually AP champions, or what else is there? I think you can handshake Jarvan into it, or even something like a Poppy to stop the engages, but they're just going to go for the Ori ball delivery with Xin.
Okay, I thought about the Jarvan, which is so high in priority as well, and when you get the ball delivery, it would be good. Although you're picking it blind, and we know it can be a crime, and Jamada would probably scream at me by saying that. But if you bring the Galio, this is already turning into a heavy wombo combo team, because Wukong has someone to go with him.
We want to be team fighting a lot, and especially if they pick something like Rel for Alaric as well, this is going to be a very full-on engage team. Kahwa plays really good engage AD carries as well.
Yeah, that's a beef squad, I have to say. They're going to need in 4 or 5 some kind of DPS for Devon right here. Make sure they don't run out of damage, because right now they need a lot of damage to be able to get through a Galio Siren. That's actually not what I had my eyes on. I don't think Corki's the best tank killer in the game right now. So if this goes later on, I would be a little bit concerned of Verdant. Right now, the win con of Verdant is to snowball through early game. They lock this Corki because early game is really Corki's domain alongside the Orianna. But later on, I am concerned about the damage. So we'll have to see how they pilot that for Verdant.
Interesting, Verdant being the ones looking into the early game instead of Rich Gang, because Rich Gang already have a beefy late game. Unless you bring something scary to the top side for SLT, either like the Aatrox that can just scale versus the Cyan, or something crazy like the Xante that can go into the late game and be a menace of itself.
Usually, I quite like, you know what, Torre would have a great Poppy game this game. If there's any kind of sequence where someone looks for a blind alley, that can be quite impactful. A Poppy into the Alice is a matchup that maybe you want to get rid of your Rich Gang if you're looking to get a hard engaged support. As Torre has shown, you know, he's really damn good at this champion. I think the R5 Torre is a crazy thing that we have to talk about in draft right here, because Torre has shown so many pocket picks that, you know, for example, you drop immobile mages. You know, if we pick something like a Syndra into the Ori, we have Galio, but if you pick some kind of immobile AD carry, you know, Torre can pull out the Bard. You know, I think Torre will make use of these draft resources extremely well, so keeping an eye on that. In terms of AD carries right now, your best picks, I just noticed Varus is open. You know, Varus is incredibly broken. Did get a touch of a nerf, but you've also got options like Lucian, Kevo's Ezreal is open. Keep an eye on those.
Yeah, I mean, I love that Verdant are trying to get rid of those champions that work the best with the very all-in comp that Rich Gang already have, but Kahwa still has a lot of options, and you mentioned Varus. Kahwa's played a lot of Varus throughout this split, and he's really comfortable with that champ as well, and it helps with engage too with the ultimate.
Yeah.
Bessa,
so, we've got a match top lane here. The best... Yeah, these are like the best handshake answers. I'm not sure. Usually the go-tos are Mbessa and Aatrox, so we're going into maybe Yorick. I think Yorick can be okay. Or do you handshake top lane tank? K'Sante, Ornn, Cho'Gath are all options that you could go towards as well if you're SLT. So it's going to be a K'Sante option. Handshake a tank v tank matchup. Be a beef squad with alongside Xin Zhao. K'Sante Xin is an incredibly tanky frontline as well. So now not only Verdant are looking for damage and DPS, Rich Gang are also doing that. So anything with a dash to prevent a Bard angle, that also has DPS could be good. I'd say Ezreal might run out of damage if they pick that into the K'Sante, but it is Kevo's comfort.
It is.
So will they lock in Zeri? That's
Lulu?
the best. That's the best answer. Zeri has a lot of DPS to get through tanks. So, and it also has a dash, which would avoid any kind of Bard angle. I like this rotation from Kevo a lot.
This feels like not that much of a Bard angle anymore. This feels like Alistar adjacent pick for Torre, to be honest, because there is not a lot of range on the right draft right now. They are going to suffer with a very heavy engage into them. Nico could be a very good choice here as well with all the control that she brings in. And for the laning, she would be perfect for the laning phase too.
Yeah, I think Nico could be good to match the range. Karma could be okay, but okay, they're just gonna say, you know what, we're just gonna struggle a little bit in the early game because it's double ranged. But we're gonna hook in, make the lane volatile, and call for jungle ganks and try and bail ourselves out of the 2v2 that should be pushing us in. So Torre sacrificing lane here for a bit of compositional roundup.
Hey, it is done. The first one, champion select, the draft is completed. Do let me know what you believe is going to happen for both of you who's going to take this one. There's the wall, and it's going to be a hard one to take down. But for you, chat, you can just type in on the team you believe is going to win, either Verdant or Rich Gang. It's up to you, so you can share the vote, and then the casters will promote it. Tell me, Aragon, Salari, who takes this one?
Can't believe I'm saying that. I think it's going to be Rich Gang in this game. But not a 3-0, just one game.
I think it depends on how bot lane goes. I feel like if they play well around making bot volatile and constantly land hooks and find gank spot, then it can be a bit tricky, but I like the scaling for Rich Gang as well. I'm going to send it with Rich Gang.
Verdant took out North. Can he do it again versus their nemesis who brought him into the lower bracket? With that in mind, let's toss it to the cast. They are more than ready. It's Trouble Inc. and Initialize.
They tell me I was born ready, and fortunately I am joined by one of the most amazing people in esports, namely Trouble Inc. Looking fabulous today, by the way.
You too, man.
Ready
You
to bring
too.
us our final series before Sweden. Both these teams have already qualified for Mere Masters. That's not on the line, but a LAN opportunity still there, still enticing to say the least. Rich Gang, having lost just yesterday, need to show that they've got a little bit more in the tank, because I think both of us weren't very impressed with the drafts yesterday.
No, absolutely not. I feel like what makes Rich Gang is that aggression and that identity that they have from laning phase, where they like to skirmish and cause chaos and get ahead in the early game, and we didn't necessarily get to see that yesterday. Saying this, however, I feel like what will be potentially a big, I guess, task for Rich Gang is to kind of out-teamfight and out-set up Verdant. I feel like in their previous series, they were very good at using their advantages in the early game to topple Verdant, basically, in this series. But the series that I saw from Verdant into Nord, like, these guys were flawless in setting up. Having actually separate jobs for each and every one of their players to execute for setting up and team fights was incredible.
And look, if you ever get to watch over, say, some of the videos of Spawn talking with Team Liquid, with Core JJ, a lot of those conversations when Liquid were at their best towards the beginning of the year were around things like who's taking responsibility for what around objectives, knowing what your roles are and what you're supposed to be doing and what you're taking ownership of. And I think Verdant, we saw some really good examples of that kind of objective set just earlier in the week, and I completely agree. And look, you've got yourself the Xin Zhao, the Ori, the Corki, the Nautilus, your ability to skirmish early, try and take fights around objectives early before things like Wukong scaling and Zeri scaling with a Lulu behind you come into play, there's the term I'm looking for, could give them those early advantages that maybe they're looking for to do just that.
Yeah. I'm saying that, I do still believe that Rich Gang have the bite in them, right? There's a few things that really worry me. Yesterday, we didn't necessarily get to see the Uzhan that we were promised. Sort of the guy that sets up, gets team fights, skirmishes early on. Because there were no priority lanes. And I feel like being a jungler with 0 priority lanes is very freaking sad. You never get the second Scuttle Crab, which means you always hit level 6 second. Which means you always have a second ward to everything and never a first, right? Oh, hold up. See, this is the conversation that we had backstage, okay? You said to me, Zeri Lulu, get Prio, and I said, yes, until Nautilus gets a hook.
On screen. Look, this is why George is the guy like us. It's like, surely, like we were saying, oh man, yesterday we didn't like the lack of Prio lanes. And I said, well, doesn't Zeri Lulu get Prio? And he went, yeah, until Tori lands a hook. And you know what happens? That he just landed a damn hook. So you know what? Turns out Georgia knows what she's talking about on occasion.
Sometimes, man, you know what? Only on Wednesdays, and currently it's a Friday, so I don't know.
Wow,
so,
there you go.
Both the pots gone from Lulu, so that's very, very important. If you look to hit another hook, that means that Alaric is going to be playing with very low HP in lane, right? And the second thing, apart from the priority lanes that we were talking about earlier for Uzhan, is that Alaric is not on an engaged champ. And you're kind of taking the essence of the guy, the essence of that support from that laning phase, from the skirmishes. I think like Alarin is a psycho. He's like Hillisang in the best way possible. He sees angles, he sees fights, and he will force them. And on Lulu, like, maybe he can pull a Healy, like a 5-man flash R into them. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Look, when we were looking at the draft yesterday, me and Aragon, we were saying, look, one of the issues we're going to run into is actually a bit of a play mid lane. We'll hold on to those wider thoughts. Sankux is going to have to flash. Nice gank there, mid jungle going a little better there. That's more like it from Uzhan.
Absolutely, and they burned the flash on a very, very immobile mid laner such as the Orianna, and now Haste with his flash available, the second Sankux overextends. If his wave is not at the correct spot, this could be absolutely trouble. So we're going to have to keep an eye on Uzhan and maybe hitting that level 6, or maybe if he can get a taunt from the Galio onto Orianna and shut down Sankux. One of our best laners that we've had in the NLC this year, and dare I say, I've looked at his stats over the years. This guy is positive in laning phase. permanently. He's got a career over 10 years long in pro play, and he has never been negative average in laning phase. He's one of the most rock-solid mid laners I've ever seen.
Wow, I don't think I quite clocked that stat. And that's across a lot of levels of play. He's been very good. And again, the team was built around him this bit, right? Like that's what you're getting for Senko.
Shows you why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you bring him in, he's been all over the place. He's reunited with some of his old teammates, and the likes of Toru, of course, used to be under the name Norscarin. Like, you've seen a really good glow up from Verdant this split, who were at risk of being also rans, caught behind the hype of Lost Returns, who were on this incredible road towards that kind of ERL golden road. You're looking at the likes of Nord, who were supposed to be this great challenger, arguably better. Look, they brought in Zvero, who is this incredible mid laner. They should be better this time than Lost Returns. They're still this content team, right? If you're being very disrespectful of their achievements this year, and they just fell to Verdant, who are now looking like potentially the second best team in the league, having Rich Gang, who just beat them in the upper bracket, but kind of got humbled just yesterday, coming off that big loss. Can they show exactly how dominant they can be? And right now in this early game, it's looking all right for Verdant, though I say that we just saw Matix getting a good shove up there, getting that extra plate, going to start proxying, and the game's just started. A lot to still work through here, but we need to see from Rich Gang in particular much better early games, because they got rumbled 2 out of 3 games yesterday and through the 3rd.
Yeah, kind of sad for them, honestly. I think this series is the Series 2 redemption, right? Not only do you get to go to finals to face Los Ratones, so for Rich Gang, it would be an extra step for redemption, maybe some kind of a revenge, if you will. As this lane, as this bot lane that we're watching is getting pushed in, Usan's gonna stay for a little while, but I don't think there's much that you can do there unless Verdant overextend on a pushing wave, which I don't think can happen. I'm gonna hold that thought though, because we have Danka in the mid lane as well. Very nice side from D-Haste.
Yeah, just showing us that you can't overshove there. Don't you dare. Don't step that extra step.
Here's the next achievement, right? You get to go back to finals, you get to go for your revenge, you get to go for your redemption arc, but you also lock in main stage for EMEA Masters.
Great.
Which is very, very, very important, right? EMEA Masters is going to be a massive event with almost 100 teams, if I'm not wrong, in the summer. You definitely do not want to be in the last chance qualifier, because chances are you might not make it out, right? There's so many good teams participating.
Like, it's always tight run stuff. Again, the LFL have been so dominant for so long. Never mind the LVP, never mind the Turkish leagues that have also done incredibly well of late. When you're also looking at fantastic runs from a lot of the Prime League teams as well. It's not so long ago since we were chatting for the likes of Funky and Power of Evil with their win with Eintracht Spandau. Like, we've seen a lot of teams and a lot of regions prove that they are more than capable of really swinging with the best of the players here at the ERL level. And yes, this year the NLC has finally gotten those wins that we've been so close to for so long. But can they do it a 3rd time in a row? And will it be a team like Lost Returns, or could it be someone like
the Golden
Verdant
Rat
or Rich Gang coming up? Exactly, the Golden Rat. Or is it someone like a Verdant? Or is it someone like a Rich Gang, who are going to be our extra representatives? These guys have certainly been no slouches either. This will be a good look at kind of level they might be able to bring. And Ozan, get hit with that command protect. We'll use the clone to body block out a dredge line, and not too much more happening here. It's been a pretty quiet early game, all things said and done, Georgia.
I actually really like the swap right here from Rich Gang to actually bring their bot lane mid and leave Galio over in the bottom of the map, because D-Haste, all he kind of has to do is kind of walk up river, push that wave, walk up river, and then he's kind of in range for that ultimate, which is the big ticket item that you're looking for on a Galio in terms of a team fight, right? So right here, Verdant are going to start the Void Grabs on the tops of the map. I think Danka, all he can do is just get one and get out.
Don't want to stick around for too much more, especially with the Galio roaming up the river. Corki has gone bot side, doesn't have teleport, and you don't really want to take a big old skirmish without your AD carry around, so they'll just deal with the one grub and get out. They've already gotten the early dragon, so it's not like they are too shy in terms of the objective markers towards feats of strength, so you take what you can get and don't feel too bad about it. Hell, they even get a little look in towards these raptors potentially.
I mean, to be fair, I think that's no right trade, because they did get the dragon, lost his red buff for it, Danka lost his red buff, and he also lost the void grabs, right? But this is kind of the trade that you're looking at. Now, they are looking in the jungle!
Wild Growth, Heroes Entrance, everyone's coming in. Cyclones galore as the Crescent Guard comes undone. Danka needing to try and stray. And they do get a big shockwave on 3. And now Zeri potentially trying to free fire as Devon does the same. Kev over the wall, though, in danger! Goes down as the audacious charge brings them low. Ozan will trade out on the Nautilus. Dice gets out. It's a lot of summoners blown. What ends up being a 1-for-1.
A 1-for-1, but Corki gets to roam back bot lane and push that wave in. So Torre finds the angle. Uzhan and Alaric in this push, both really squishy. Galio has to come in, and look at Senkax's ult on the dash of the Galio to pull him back. If that taunt went through after the dash, it could have been very, very bad news from Verdant, but Senkax actually timed it to perfection to help his team out right there, and ended up being a 1-for-1 AD carry for support. I think Verdant take this any day because, as I said, Devon got to go back bot lane and shove that wave in as well.
Just that slight edge towards Verdant. You're getting some important summoners there off the likes of Alaric, and we kind of touched on it earlier. He's not an engaged support. When we were looking at draft options yesterday, saying, look, we feel like they're not getting prio bot side, what can they draft to do it? We went, hang on, has Alaric ever played a ranged support? And for the life of me, I couldn't find a game of it, certainly not this year. This is the first
I'm telling you, man, he's healing.
Yeah, possibly his career.
He's the NLC healer thing. That's him.
That's it. I mean, I remember Hilly playing Lulu for better or worse too, to be fair, Georgia.
Hey, last time I remember Healy playing Lulu, he flash R'd into 5 members, his team was nowhere near, so...
That's so true, but he got the knockup.
He got a 5-man knockup, that was perfection. But I'll keep the good qualities of Healy, because that's how I remember him, you know? And I think Alaric, again, has the same qualities. I feel like he's very crazy with his engages. He sees things other people don't see. And I feel like this is particularly the reason why Kevo has been so dominant in lane as well. The fact that Alaric finds the engages and all those skills end up being funneled into Kevo. Now, right here, of course, not quite the case. And Devon does find himself 400 gold up, but 200 gold. But rather, that money is pretty much his tier, so he will be happy with that.
Hang on, maybe forced to get over the wall there. Loses a third or so his HP bar. Will fry some eggs, courtesy of that Valkyrie. This skin still weirds me out, Georgia. Not gonna lie, you lay eggs as a bird and use them as weapons of war. There's something slightly macabre about using your eggs that way. You know, well, who does that? Which bird does that? That's grim. You know.
I'm just gonna say this is a mechanical bird. It's a bird toy.
Okay.
So
okay, that's fine. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, that's.
Using a little bit of imagination, you know, like birds, sunny side eggs, you know, all that stuff. Anyways, it's been a little bit of a chill early game, only 1 kill apiece, which both teams will be very happy about. They both have incredible scaling on their AD carries, mid laners and top laners equally. So both teams are pretty much composed to fight around those objectives, talking about them. Dragons are spawning in literally 3 seconds from now, and yet again, Verdant, with that control through the bot side of the map, they have again established themselves first into this river. Devon cannot get back into his lane.
Well. Yeah, he's not having fun there. I was about to note down because she's picked up Sundered Skies. She's got that first completed item done as well, which is a big spike for the Jins out, whereas obviously 24 significantly more expensive, not quite there for Ozhan. Shut back from SLT, won't look to go all out, I don't think, as yet. It does likely mean, I want to say Verdant could start up that dragon, but the moment I look down at that mini-map, it's actually Rich Gang in the river around that pit first right now.
I mean, Verdant did the classic Verdant thing where it's like, oh, we're first at the objective. Oh, our lanes are not pushed. So Devon tried to get that bot lane, push that wave, then Uzhan was down there, so they stopped him from getting in. But then the second time where Rich Gang tried to get back into the dragon, Tower was there, so they felt threatened, the lanes weren't pushed. So I think it was a double turn from both of these teams that shouldn't have been there. But at the end of the day, with the resets coming through, the Trinity Force from Devon coming in as well, and Rich Gang having the resets again, it's going to be a Verdant second dragon.
Does look to be that way. Just get that reset off in time. You've already got the vision control. Could afford to play it a little slower, and it all works out just fine in the long run. There is that second dragon, another marker towards the feat of strength, which until this point have largely been pretty even. One more objective required for Verdant. SLT gets to play topside, and again, the game remains pretty damn slow. But I am looking on one side here, George, and I'm seeing Zeri Lulu. I'm seeing massive front line in the front of that as well. Wukong, who wants to get towards a couple items. That's surely got to feel pretty good to Rich Gang, who have got pretty good scaling, and yesterday we're getting rolled in the early stages. This feels a lot better for them.
To be fair, yesterday their setup was Nocturne, Orianna, and Ambessa, if I'm not wrong, with Azeri.
Yeah.
I feel like this particular iteration of a composition looks so much better for Azeri. You've got a lot of frontline, you've got a lot of champions buying you time and buying you safety, right? With the Lulu and the Galio in there as well. So definitely keep the clutch Eski from Uzhan coming through. We've seen him from Taeyun, if I'm not wrong. And on Varus, that was really cool. Just simply standing there and they don't know if you're either baiting your clone or you're just simply stuck there, right? Usan just pressed his S key and just stood there for a second.
Torre gambles, the nose hand, wins the mind game, gets away with that. Very nicely done. I think he got away with the Raptor steal as well, so happy enough with that one. And again, the game remains a relatively quiet affair. It's a slight gold lead towards Verdant. But that's all there really is to match home about it. Kevo has just completed the kill, goes back and gets that first item. Hexplate went for this build yesterday. Not something we see a huge amount of on Zeris around the world, who do tend towards more things like the Yuntals and those kind of higher early crit builds, but it does mean you can get off those lightning crashes pretty much whenever you like.
Yeah, and let's see how much damage actually that build does as well. I have a feeling that it spikes a little bit earlier due to the nature of the item as well. So I'd like to see sort of like the damage distribution that goes over to Kevo in those early skirmishes now that the first item has been completed compared to like a Trinity Force Scorpion, which is also a very core first item spike for that particular AD carry. Saying that though, talking about skirmishes, a Rift Herald has spawned over in the top side of the map, and Richgang are trying to find a way in. Again, Verdant first onto the objective this time around. Waves have been pushed. Usan found an opening.
Torek does get engaged onto. There's the hero's entrance. Despite the exhaust, he's still dead. They lose the Herald though. That's picked up by Danker. In danger though with the Crescent Guard, and I think he is likely a second casualty of the event. Rich Gang pick up 2 in trade for the Herald.
I was about to say the sacrifice support for Herald. No disrespect to support, but I feel like that's a pretty worthwhile trade right there. But I don't think it's going to be just a support that sacrificed Senkux alone under tower. No TPs to defend him and 4 members of Rich Gang around.
Last poor Senkux, we knew thee well. He's not playing a Yorick, but unfortunately he'll meet the same fate. A good flash, but Matix has one of his own to follow and whacks him over the head. Lumberjack, Scion gets the kill. Have a look at the replay as Rich Gang come away with a number of kills.
Yeah, Tori overextends right there. He tries to play sort of bodyguard of that banana bush, but when you're all alone and there's no other threats around, you see as Cassante was over on the bottom of the map, then it becomes really difficult for Nodus to just overextend and pretend he's God in anything because he's just very squishy and ends up going down. Usan sees the overextend, ends up punishing, and then Senkux all on the top of the map ends up going down to 4 members of the team.
That shout out to production as well with the clutch picture-in-picture showing us that Rich Gang just picked up the first turret as well, so that gets some feats of strength because they got all the kills in that fight beforehand, and with the 2 grubs already picked up, very easy for them to just shove that top turret and get that additional structure required for the upgraded boot, which puts them also, worth noting, about 1,500 gold ahead, so very strong early game, and steel caps everywhere on that top side.
I was about to say, what is happening there? It's like all in a row over on the top side of the map for Rich Gang. I mean, it's fine, right? Sante, Zenzao, Corky.
Even Ori autos quite a lot with the clockwork wind-up.
Usually when it's not a Mercs game, you kind of want to go for those. I don't see any other type of boots that you could have gone for. Maybe cooldown reduction, but I don't think you really need them. So I guess steel caps are fine there as Torre will hook himself onto the clone of Usan, and he stole that. That's another buff that's going over to the set of Rich Gang.
Right. I was about to make a meme about Wukong going berserk boots just to bonk people even more. Because that's clearly the right set of boots you want. Nothing. Just
I think my silence is your answer right there. You deserve that one.
Me to stop. Yeah, that's
You deserve
yeah, she's just like, how dare you even breathe that sentence?
All right. The Dragon coming up. If Verdant managed to grab this one, it will be a very, very early soul point for them. I think Verdant caught Rich Gang napping right here as the resets came through right before the Dragon, trying to get those wards in their inventories, trying to finish up components or items from the side of Rich Gang. Verdant took that time to push bot lane, push mid lane, grab some vision in the river, and take mid lane tier 1. Let's see if they can actually find the fight.
Problem is, of course, that Rich Gang got a lot of beefy frontliners who can do the face checking, and SLT is forced to flash and turn into a rabbit briefly. Courtesy of the polymorph, is going to have to flash and reset. Does have the teleport to join, but Verdant now without control in the river as they've been forced out and forced to clear some waves again.
Yeah, it's actually really difficult to deal with this Galio and Scion, right? 2 really big beef balls in the middle of everyone.
Crescent Guard burned already. They're going to get the hook onto the clone of all things. Also got the Cyclone down. HP bars and ultimates largely blown in general right now, making things a bit dicey. Matix trying to frontline. Heroes edge to try and keep him in space. SLT in danger. Reminder, no flash. The Cassandra will footwork out to safety. Dreadside onto Alaric, who will heal. Flash away. Can look to keep himself safe. So now the Dragon down about 2,000 HP. Who's going to win the fight? It is Danka who gets it. Soul point for Verdant. Fight afterwards commencing as Matix low, but not going down. Slow down. Dreadslide onto him. Trying to buy the time. In goes the Galio. Big shielded around. Kevo gets the kill onto Torre. SLT drags Kevo all out. Can't quite get the kill. He's continuing to auto best he can. The burst fire coming as Kevin goes looking for the kill. Can't quite get it as a slide over the wall. Fight in the river elsewhere though. Is Danka getting so much healing from the Sudden Sky. Flash away from the Zeri. And somehow Verdant get away with 3 for 2. It's a mess. But Soul Point still secured. Ozhan now in danger.
What's going on?
Devin, so much more high HP. As he'll try and glide away. Flash. Nimbus strike. Senkux. No flash of his own, but he's got a command distance to speed himself up. Body blocked by the minions and can't get in range to get the last auto down. And the Wukong just about glides away.
All right, there's only one way I'm gonna summarize this, and you guys can watch it all over again. Either no one's doing any damage, or everyone is really tanky. And because these both teams are very scaly teams, I'm gonna go with the first one. There was actually no damage being done. The teams kept throwing hooks, kept throwing gallios, kept throwing taunts, but nothing was sticking because there wasn't enough damage coming through from any of those teams. So once you saw the back and forth and the Dragon going down, you can sort of see the ping pong of the teams either moving backwards or forwards, trying to get as much poke, as much damage down. And nothing was really sticking. It was only at the very, very end when you saw a couple of members just overextending for the last couple of autos. I would really love to see what the damage looks like on the bottom right now. Because I just felt like there was no damage done. And I was right. I was right.
Yep. Lots of tanks hitting each other. Not that much damage built up there. And ends up being about 2,500 across the board for most carries. Doing the best they can with that. But in the end, Verdant are still the ones that got Soul Point. They get slightly more kills. Get the mid lane turret beforehand as well. Yep. And help even that gold up. In fact, they take the gold lead, so all in all, I think they probably come out just about ahead. Toro, though, to speak about it, is now in danger. Will flash over the wall, again running the spell, but not the tankiest right now. Does have a teleport to potentially rejoin the field of battle, should he so wish. And I think that reset will be coming through now for the support.
Yeah. Really nice turn right there with Torre and Danka. They keep doing this a lot as a jungle support duo. You'll see Torre overextend, but like Danka is always somewhere there. Sure, Torre has to blow his flash right, but that ended up in Scuttlecrop also for Danka. So Nautilus, not very flash dependent, I want to say, as a champion. Usually you can chill behind walls and use your Hex Blast as well. Q and R are your two biggest abilities, and they don't necessarily need that flash for them to be a... Okay, I held my breath for a second there. For them to be actually successful, but Devon... Ooh.
Yeah, both AD carries.
You know what I call this?
Incredibly aggressively. Yeah.
You know what I call this? We got bored. That's what I call this.
Yeah, I've not done anything for like 30 seconds. I want to press some buttons.
It's usually 80 carries. I swear to you, man. It's 80
so
carries.
True. Jackie Love in mid lane will die once a game. Devon
okay, don't say that. Don't say that.
Get
don't
bored.
Say that. Cut the tape.
Am I wrong?
Cut the tape.
Am I wrong? I know he's your favorite
tape.
player. Am I wrong?
Slander.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll tell you the difference. Jakilov never picks a 1v1 with enemy AD carry mid. Jakilov thinks he's the king of the wave and will push it out, and suddenly he gets ganked by 2-3 people when he shouldn't be there. Okay?
Okay, so what are Devon and Kevo doing then?
They just went at it as AD carries. It was like a handshake. It's like, we're bored, let's exchange ults, exchange some fight, maybe blow some summoners, and that's it. And that's it.
Yeah, but Devon's ult means a lot less than Kevo's. He's got a Hexblade though, so maybe
that's right.
Actually it's about to come off cooldown again, and I take it kind of back.
Let's see. Verdant with, again, the very, very early soul. It's going to be an Ocean Soul as well, so a lot of the poke. It's going to be really helpful to have that soul healing back up. A lot of the important items have been purchased from both sides of the teams. Corki now on his peak with the 2 items. The Moramana completed Hurricane on the other side for Kevo on that Zeri. 2 items, Galio, 2 items on Senkax's Orianna as well. It's going to be a pretty big fight, but the most important thing for me is the Black Cleaver completed for Danka right there. Really does help both Cassante and Corki in terms of that armor pen that it provides through that item. And here comes the problems, right? You do not have a tanky member unless Sion helps you get into that Fog of War, which they're using right now. And Alaric cannot really walk in to put that vision down unless Matix is there.
SLT trading out with Dehaste on the top side of the map. 4v4 on this bot side. Verdant fighting for wave control. They've done very good objective setup. Sometimes it's come at the cost of their waves. Ulsan down to about half HP. Depth charge comes on top and will slide over the wall with the clone into the Raptor pit. It means he's not here to get a cyclone to anyone valuable. Senkuk's going to trade out with him pretty well as Verdant trying to interrupt the hero. Tempest won't quite do it. Oh my days, the shockwave brings down the Wukong. Hook afterwards. It's on to Kevo, who gets one goes, take a line for a second or two, begins to throw out those hurricane autos. Danka needs to flash out, but in the backline just goes to Z. He gets the all out, brings down Kevo. They've murdered the rest of the team, and Verdant now have an uncontested soul.
That was such an awkward fight by Ritzgang. You never want to walk the catwalk. You never want to be a model in this game. This catwalk is the catwalk of death, especially when you do not have vision on the other side. And look at that. Ulsan is on one side, engages onto Senkuk's. Then Galio has to stop in the middle of Verdant, hitting him to just ult in the backline to save Ulsan, who ends up going down. Alaric and Ulsan has to flash over the wall at Raptors to help Kevo. And it was just a disaster of a team fight by Ritzgang. Verdant just picked them off one by one as they kept coming.
Atakan taken as an additional prize there for Verdant at the end of the play as well. They find themselves that. They've got a load of extra petals. They've got soul. They've got a 5,000 or so gold lead. That is exactly what they needed. And Ritzgang, yeah, the early game was quiet, but these fights have just not been going their way.
Yeah, I felt like, again, that it was very awkward how it was set up. Ulsan got caught out, and then I felt like Ritzgang kind of panicked and tried to make a play when they didn't necessarily have to. But if you don't make a play, the soul kind of goes to Verdant for free. So, again, the panic kind of kicked in for Ritzgang right there, and they wanted to fight. Now Verdant are looking for the control around the Baron area, of course. You mentioned it, 5,000 gold lead. You've got a whole extra item onto your Cassante versus your Sion. You've got the two items that both your carries need in mid and bot lane.
Oh.
So you're actually looking for members to engage upon, and that's Ulsan.
Cyclone part 1, depth charge after. He doesn't have a warrior trickster clone anymore. He'll get a wild growth, tries to go forwards, but I don't think forwards is exactly the path to victory here.
Oh,
and Danka
they didn't
gets
believe
that
it.
kill. Your jungler's gone!
They didn't believe it. Ulsan tried to do the Eski thing again, but his clone wasn't up. He didn't fool Verdant. So no smite for Ritzgang. I'm just having a look to see if there's in the spellbook. Okay, no smite for Ritzgang. Is no chance to steal that Baron, as well as Devon and Toro. I really like what they're doing here. They know that there is absolutely no contention coming through from Verdant, but they also don't want their waves to be pushed back against them, because once you have the Baron, you actually want to start a proper push around, right? So Dehaste is shoving that bot lane wave. Devon and Tore caught that mid lane wave right in the middle. So now they will be able to shove some waves much easier.
SLT immediately heads from the Baron over towards that topside wave to get that shoved into the turret. Resets can begin to come on through. Kevo will at least pick up this. Grumpy's the only member of Ritzgang who's got a lead against their opposite number, but the Zeri's going to have to do a lot of work. And yes, you've got the Lulu behind you. You've got the front line. If you can get to 3-4 items, maybe there is that ability to certify a Zeri moment LCK style, but you've got to get there first. And when you're looking at Senkuk's, who's got 10 stacks on the Dark Seal, a third item. This Corki so ahead. Ozan, who's getting caught again, exhausted.
Blubber?
Danka with the Conqueror stack. It's a 3v1. Why are you there?
Blubber, is that you? Like, what's your connection to the skull crabs? Like, my god, the junglers and skull crabs. Okay, I see it. That was way too cocky and way too big of an overextension. I don't think the skull crab will provide anything for the team. There is no neutral objective right there. For 3 minutes, you're not getting anywhere near your jungle, and you have to stay as 5 to try and defend against Baron. Now you're kind of spreading yourself thin, which means Senkuk's gets free time alone with the bot lane tower. Your mid lane is going to get eventually pushed. So you're pretty much losing 2 towers right here on that Baron push for free. But Ulsan is supposed to be kind of the threat for the backline, delivering the Galio onto the 2 carries for Verdant.
The gold lead explodes. Already 4k on this Baron. They've got a minute and a half to go as the inhibitor turret is now being sieged. Devon steps on forward, throws down a phosphorus bomb onto Alaric. He has been quiet this game, but I don't really think it's been about the Lulu or the Zeri. Here we go as a potential angle onto Senkuk's, but again he just speeds his way out. Runs away. It's Senkuk's with a Conqueror on Orianna to keep autoing down the Wukong. Steel caps mean nothing to the Clockwork Wind-up at this point. Dehaste goes down. Danka Shun, says Danka, as he finds an additional kill. Kevin will bring down the lightning, but unfortunately the voltage ain't high enough. The Crescent card comes down, and the Zeri just doesn't have enough in the tank. No damage to be found, and Verdant shatter the base of Ritzgang. I think it may well be.
Look at mid lane, there's another wave pushing in, and if Verdant can actually meet the two in the middle, this is going to be game over for Richgang, the game number 1. 3 versus 5, can they defend?
SLT flashes out, Ultra Shock Laser used already, Nexus turret number 1, a hook onto Matix, the Scion, it's a Lumberjack in an era of steel, and unfortunately for Verdant, and for Richgang, this game ain't going on too much longer. Nothing unfortunate for Verdant, I take it back, they're feeling all too gleeful. As game 1 is decisive as the mid-game rolls around. They are your victors here, and Richgang is looking like a continuation of yesterday, and I hate to say it.
Damn, okay, Verdant. Clean game. You know, yesterday we presented with Yamada on the desk that Richgang had the longest average game time in playoffs. Before that, it belonged to Verdant. They had somewhere near almost 40 minutes. 40 minutes as their average game time because they're a slow team. They like scaling, they like taking it slow, they like taking their objectives, they like going fully textbook. And that was fully textbook Verdant. They waited for their 2 item carries to come through, and this is where they really pushed the gas.
And then on the other side, Richgang, look, congratulations, you did have some prio early, you played it slowly, and then turned up to objectives late, overplayed, didn't come in on the right item timers, and how many important fights did they lose in a row having not gotten good setup around objectives? It needs to be better than that, I think, Georgia.
Absolutely. I mean, it is what it is. We'll see. I think the series is going to be a banger, so buckle up. I really hope that, you know, Richgang didn't do, LR didn't do to Richgang what Faker did to Scout, but we'll see.
Yeah, look, is the mental damage too much, or can Richgang bounce back? Desk, that's a question I'm going to ask you to answer.
Big boss, I don't know. Maybe some damage from yesterday is still lingering on today. When you look into the basic and you look into the drafts, I don't think this is the way that it should have went. Do you agree with me? Eragon, Solari, can we bring the draft? Because
yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to bring this up because, okay, listen, it's a very clear game plan for either side, right? You have stronger early game on Verdant, you want to stack dragons and make sure to get to Soul because you have stronger early game champs in general, whereas, you know, on the side of Richgang, you have an Enchanter scaling, Zeri, who has damage for Ants, I'll get that to that soon, I hate this champion, and you want to scale up to like Soul Point and Soul Fights, right? That's really where you come online, and over time, Verdant should actually potentially run out of gas with the Corki and Orianna carry into the beefy front line of Richgang. Unfortunately, Richgang in these last team fights at Soul Point and so on, they just didn't pull it off.
Yeah, because the early game was looking exactly according to the plan to Richgang because nothing was happening. We had a 1-1 by 15th minute in the game, which was pretty much going as Richgang won because Zeri is getting free scaling on the bot lane. You have free scaling for pretty much everybody else, but for her it's of course the most important one. But they give away the dragons, they don't really control the objectives now, and I feel like the fact that Verdant had such a free access to objectives, especially to the dragons, was a big factor for them winning the game.
Yeah,
stacking those so early, tell me. Yeah,
Richgang as well. They got it was at one point it was 4 kills to 1. They got the early Rift Herald. They could have transitioned that into a dragon at some point. It looked really, really good. And when you're winning, usually when you're winning early game with the late game composition that outscales, usually you're set for life there and you can carry on through a lead. But it was just raw out team fighting gap where particularly one team fight with Lulu, I feel like Lulu was caught off and separated from the rest of his team. That was the big problem there. It was a scaling versus early game comp, and it feels like Verdant just executed their side better.
Yeah, that's the one that where it extends for like 2 minutes and Lulu wasn't able to get to Zeri. She had to flash in order to get close to Zeri. I think that's a breakdown we're going to have soon enough. Yeah. But when you look into Corki, when you look into Orianna versus those walls of HP, and somehow they come on top.
Can I rant?
Conqueror.
Yeah, it was Conqueror.
With the Conqueror,
that
yeah.
gives a bit
Orianna
enough
Conqueror.
gas. I'm doubtful. That's a PoE classic. No, but can I rant? Can I be serious? Can I rant? I hate this Zeri champion.
He's gonna do this.
I
He's
swear.
gonna do this.
No, I'm sorry. Look, listen. I feel like in League of Legends, there are champions that have archetypes, but they're so over nerfed that they don't even achieve these archetypes. Okay, so for example, Kalista. right? This champ is so over-nerfed that it doesn't even win really games anymore, outside maybe this morning, and where Callista's supposed to win early games, stack dragons, and end games, but she's so over-nerfed, she doesn't even do that. I feel like Zeri's actually in a very similar boat where, of all the mobile hyper carries in the game, she's just a weaker Yunara and so on. I just feel like this champ never does any damage. It never, ever does any damage and doesn't end up scaling. I want to start a movement. Can we never lock this champion again? I really think it loses games.
Okay, buddy, that's all good, but what about your prediction for today?
Okay, look, listen. I was trying to set up some excuses already, and it's clearly not sold you. It was a Zeri gap. It'll be 3-1. I'm doubling down. It's Zeri
down?
Gap. Yeah, it's going to be 3-1 to Rich Gang.
Well, we got to see how this went. Oh, I have some ideas, Solari. I have some ideas. Don't worry, boss. Don't worry. We'll talk about this for further on the series. But yeah, when you look into the team fights, you were saying like team fights were just dominated in favor of Verdant. No, I agree. There's nothing you can highlight that Rich Gang wanted to achieve, even though I think the champion select brought in a lot, especially on the tankiness. Do you think it's only the Zeri because Todek has run down over here?
No.
I think this would change. This is the team fight Rich Gang were like, hey, this is going to be helpful.
You can disagree with me, but I have a feeling that from the draft for Reach Gang, the idea for this draft is that everybody's supposed to be sticking together. Because you have Engage, which apart from Galio is not super deep and not getting super far away from everybody else on the team. You have Lulu, who's always hugging Zeri, never letting her go alone like a good mama that she is. And everybody was be fighting together and sticking together, but I almost never saw it from Reach Gang. They were always like spread across the territory.
Yeah, no, and this was the big fight, right? Where look at Alaric on the left, Lulu's on the left, Zeri's on the right. That's not what you want to do. You want to be in front to back with your two tanks. Completely exactly what you're saying, Solari. You've got a bunch of autos coming in for Zeri, unempowered by Lulu, and Lulu has to flash to the backline to be able to join the fight. And honestly, props to Danka right here for getting the steal onto the dragon, or the secure rather. And Rich Gang, they feel like they have to fight because that's soul point gone. It's just repeated outplays as well. SLT completely glides on them too. The true damage is massive, and outplay after outplay, I feel like. With a P-shooter Zeri! Sorry, I had to yell. I got a bang.
The Conqueror here was good. Look at the amount of time Syncox had to just scale and scale on this team fight.
Did I say anything about Conqueror?
No, I'm just saying that this is good. This is good. This is somehow good tech. And then you get to a point where there was no healing reduction as well. When you get that soul point of the ocean, things get really, really complicated for Rich Gang. Which is weird, because we made the pre-show talking about Rich Gang being the early game team. And they kind of swapped roles, you know. Rich Gang wanted the late game with that wall, and also the Zeri, and Verdant, Corki, and Oriana.
Yeah,
is this Friday mix-up, you know?
Is it a new Verdant, right? Where they're playing actually these early game compositions. They stack Drakes as physically early as humanly possible, right? Getting the soul win con very, very early on, forcing fights from the Zeri composition. You know, it does feel like a Freaky Friday situation where we've swapped, and, you know, Verdant have done really well with it. So, I mean, it's really interesting for seeing how they draft in the future, maybe playing more early game comps.
Okay. First game goes in favor of Verdant. Chat, would you mind proposing an idea for if it's not a 3-1 for Eragon? Because it doubled down. Chat, I need your ideas. Yeah, I need ideas.
What do we do to this guy?
In 3 minutes, we'll talk about that, and I'll share one of your ideas. I'll see you soon. We are about to jump into game 2. I saw the chat, and I do believe Eragon has to talk at the end of the show as Stitch for 5 minutes.
What? Can you even do that?
Can you do a Stitch? Can you do a Stitch? Can you? Eragon, you're muted.
Classic.
You see-
Okay, listen.
Oh!
I was saying that's only if Rich Gang lose, right? But they're not gonna lose.
Obviously. Now, I think you should do a
Because
public
it's a 3-1.
announcement of how sorry you are to Verdant.
Yeah.
If Rich Gang lose,
Yeah.
how long does it have to be? What are the conditions here?
No, I just want you to make
Are
a
you-
public announcement to
Okay,
apologize to Verdant.
after this, if Rich Gang lose, I will say, I'm sorry, Verdant, you guys are geniuses, and I should never have doubted you.
You can
The
do
deal?
better than that. You can do better than that.
Okay.
You need to
I'll
speak
think of
from
something.
your
I'll
heart.
cook something up.
Yeah, cook. With that in mind, we're about to jump into game 2. What should we focus? Because, by the way, Rich Gang went to blue side, which is the same. Never changed.
Yeah, which is the same. I mean, B1 Wukong's out. That's like go-to comp. I
Uh-huh.
really for this man. I think Ozan is so good on champions with more early agency. Wukong's very tied to farming and getting to level 6. Give this man some prior lanes. Give this man some early game power and oomph. That's what I want
J4.
from Ozan.
I want
Oh,
J4
hell
for
yeah.
this guy. Oh, yeah.
Xin Zhao, J4, Trundle. Like, give me something that can
Pantheon?
chomp, something that can
Zhao is
fight
out.
early. Pantheon, exactly.
Pantheon. Oh, yeah, Pantheon could be so
It was
good
open
too.
previous game. Nobody cared about him. The boy, the one and only.
Aw.
Absolute
Yeah.
travesty. Travesty. But like Gwen, Pantheon, Varus, Azir, Talia, Handshake, lots of champions that are available. They're going to receive some target bans with that Maokai once again. So it wasn't a Wukong setup ban. It was just a target. We're not going to give them the Rumble Maokai duo. And instead, we're going to prioritize other things. Blue side, once again, what will be the OP is the real question. I think in games like this, Aurora Flex becomes pretty good, especially once Oriana's out. So we'll have to see.
SLT who has had Aurora game?
We don't talk about that.
Oh, we don't talk about it. Sorry.
I can't remember. Did it go bad? Like off the top of my head, I'm blanking.
We really don't talk
okay,
about
okay,
it.
okay. I know. I understand. We don't talk about Aurora SLT here.
Now, Varus, yet again, ignored that could be an opportunity. Oh, my boy!
Oh,
Ah,
there we go. That's some
Okay.
early game.
We have a
That's a
proactive
happy
jungler
outro.
already. Can we... Oh, I just wanted to say, can we add Talia to this Pantheon for the Has? That would be such a good combo. But okay, Verdant read that and they take it for themselves.
Yeah, usually control mages are picked into Talia. An answer in the NLC would be Syndra or Hui or something like this. And it looks like they're going to exactly go for that. Lots of single target burst, you outrange, and you can win the lane in this matchup. Strong 2v2 mid jungles is the theme currently. They're playing through Dehaste and Ozan as well as Danka and Senkux. Rise would be something similar. Double global though is the spin on this. You can actually play to side lanes extremely well. So now I want some kind of carry in the top lane. Some kind of split pusher or giga carry that Rich Gang can play towards and ult towards on the side lane here.
Just thinking if Maddox plays any of those, to be honest.
Renekton?
Gwen is the only one comes to my mind. Okay, no,
Renekton.
Renekton. Yeah, you're right. I forgot that it exists.
Yeah, it's a pretty damn good combo with these champions. But these champs, you've got to play through side lane pretty well. Like, all I'm going to say is that if Renekton's not fed in this game, it's going to be pretty hard to play. One of the best answers in Cassante isn't up anymore. If you want a Stonewall, I think Ornn might be the best available option, or Gragas. I think these are the best choices that you do have.
You don't like Volibear over here?
Is SLT a volleyball player? I don't recall
he's-
SLT playing volley, so I don't think so. And
not.
I feel like volley is a bit more,
A niche,
a
okay.
bit more volatile and niche, yeah. I think SLT is more so a tank player into the Renekton. You get these neutralizers, but they're going to drop it completely. So that means Rich Gang going to be able to ban away these neutralizers if they want to.
Well, Sivir was banned in the previous game, and Devin is gonna hold that AD carry. Now we only need the pair. For one side, you can remove AD carries from Verdant, so probably going for the Varus and stuff like that. For the other side, you want to take away the enablers on the top side versus Renekton.
Kai'Sa. They're gonna remove... Oh yeah, they're gonna remove Kai'Sa from Keho because Keho is a big Kai'Sa player and that could be such a good follow-up to Pantheon flying into the backline of the enemy. And probably removing Ezreal as
absolutely.
well with the similar idea, but kind of the artillery from afar with an ultimate that can reach anywhere if there is any action happening on the side lane.
I think there are three big champions that I'm looking at for Verdant as well, where you have the scaling answers into the Sivir, which are pretty common. Stuff like the Senna Smolder is often picked into the Sivir. Alternatively, you could go Jinx and play for the reset with the first target burst of the Renekton and the Pantheon and so on. I think Jinx or Senna Smolder are the go-to options here for Kevo. We already saw the Smolder, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it again. I think that's a great pick on 4-5 here for Rich Gang, and that they can build around.
I would love some Jinx Rel here for Rich Gang. It feels like that would just like fit in the composition perfectly, but probably it's gonna be Smolder for Kevo in the end, and then whatever Alaric decides to play, that's still a question. Alaric has a very big champion pool, just pretty much like Tori.
Alistair and Braunban. Nautilus on R4 is pretty broken. That's gone, actually. So is it going to be just a Rel blind? No, they're just going to lock in and match. Rel would have been pretty contested because there's not many counters up. I suppose Poppy's available, so you're just not going to R4. You're going to match with the Ornn neutralized lane. Now, do you take away the Rel and handshake like a Poppy answer into it, potentially? That could be quite spooky. But again, I'm looking at some kind of scaling lane. I feel like this is kind of lining up for a Bard game if they lock in Smolder Senna, though. Those are mobile carries that Bard could ulti here. It's just something for Rich Gang to be cognizant of. This 4-5 will be telling, though. There's the Rel denial. Will Tori lock in Poppy into the Rel? That's a classic.
He should. He's so mighty good at Poppy. And Poppy is going to have so much value into Rel, especially on the lane, but later on into Pantheon as well. And into Renekton too.
As well.
Holy hell,
You stop a lot of those engages.
Yeah.
You slow down the tempo.
You don't
and that's
think,
what
you go
Verdant wants.
Poppy.
Oh,
So there's a Smolder. And now I think a Bard or a Poppy on 5 here for Tori would be right up his street. I think Bard playing off of the immobile carries would be good. Poppy playing off of the dash cancels could be good. Either way, it looks like Tori's going to go towards the Bard. And I think we've kind of reversed the roles this game. It's more scaling heavy for Verdant, but Rich Gang do have the backup of the Smolder, but a lot of early game in the top side for Rich Gang this time around. So a lot of proactivity I hope to see with the side lane gameplay, whilst you have Smolder scaling to back yourself up on Rich Gang, whereas you have a bunch of scaling front to back and Summoner popping with the Bard and the Sivir Ornn.
Chat, you know the drill. Who's gonna win? Rich Gang or Verdant? Just put in your votes and we'll see. And then for predictions, we'll try to bring something cool. Don't worry about that. We'll keep you posted during the game. Eragon, Solari. Let's start with you, Solari, okay? Eragon lost powers on this. Who do you think is gonna win? And why?
I think Verdant, because I love the idea for Rich Gang about playing throughout their early game on the top lane, but at the same time there is Ornn Trundle on the other side. Ornn already alone is hard enough to play around, and if Trundle is added there, I feel like it makes the idea of progressing through there almost impossible for Rich Gang.
Okay, bye-bye.
You always cut me off and say, okay, let's go there, because I'm just yapping. I like that. No, I think Keva's really good at playing through small. I think they're actually generally a good Smolder team. So if they're going to win a draft, I think this one actually there's a big argument. Smolder has a relatively good game. A lot of tools for Ozan to work with. I'm going Rich Gang.
Okay. It's deciding that early game. What do they do? Rich Gang playing for the aggressiveness and getting Kevo and protecting him, by the way. Not like yesterday. Or will Verdant get the 2-0 and put Rich Gang against the wall, promoting Eragon to apologizing to Verdant? With that in mind, we don't know, but we'll toss it to the casters. Triple Link and Initialize. You might know something.
On occasion, so they tell me, that I know like maybe one or two things. I don't know why Eragon is so ride or die with Rich Gang. I appreciate it. I approve. I can back it. Like,
Captain Sex doesn't even play for them.
Well, exactly. Well, there you go. But look, he's back in the Kevo Smolder. Nearly made it work yesterday, but then Lost Returns did Lost Returns things and still won the late game regardless. And going to try it again here today. They got the first pick Pantheon, which has been very high prio, but both of us were wondering whether we kind of maybe favored Verdant's draft here.
Okay,
we favored Verdant's draft.
I will say the Smolder almost worked because Matix was going crazy on his Aatrox. Like he was the reason that this early game and this early game attention was taken away from the Smolder, and Smolder was able to get to his 2-5 mark, right? And I think they have the chance to do this again. You've got the Rise, you've got the Pantheon, you can play for sidelines. I would choose to play for Renekton as well, right? Ornn, yes, he's a tank, but he's not as tanky in the early game, and he is susceptible to going down. So if you actually mark him early on, give those kills to Renekton, Matix does his thing like he did with Aatrox yesterday, you could have a chance of getting your Smolder to the 2-5 stacks.
That'll be the aim of the game. Problem, I think, we've seen this a little bit over the last couple of days, is Rich Gang with the melee support into the double range bot lane and into Sivir as well. They're going to be shoved in forever, and sure, the Smolder can play safe and scale, but Rich Gang with low prio bot side often look like a very different team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like you mentioned it overall, we do prefer Verdant's draft a tad more. I'm usually like a big Taliyah fan in general because I feel like Taliyah can really dictate how mid lane goes, and it can also very easily dictate how jungle goes as well. And so far, I will say that between yesterday and today, I have yet to see that Uzhan that build opportunity on Java and just kept on diving in and creating opportunities and skirmishes, right? Astoria finds the double bind here.
That's going to put Kevo down to half HP. Alaric's going to have to bounce away as well. It is gone.
The wave is coming.
Kevo's going to have to go to lane with 2/3 of his HP bar missing.
Ooh, that's really, really, really tough. You only get one pot if you get the Doran short right there, and that pot is gone. And I don't think it's nowhere near going to heal him back to full. It's about going to give him half of that. So that's a really, really rough matchup right here for Alaric and Kevo. A matchup that they were already losing in terms of priority. And Alaric's going to take another Q. Yeah.
Already begin to bounce. They're getting nowhere near this wave. That is insta-shove for Verdant. And Kevo and Alaric, they are on life support right now, even at the level 1. Another Cosmic Binding. Torre abusing those early passes.
Call me crazy. Does Danka skip camps to dive bot lane? Because the way that Devon is treating that bot lane wave, to me, it's screaming, I'm building it up to crash it. So I'm wondering if this could potentially be a case of let's build up some waves, super low, no pots. Surely with Trundle Pillar, we could get something going.
That might be the idea. At the very least, they're going to get a massive bounce back because they're going to shove it so early, and then they can just play it slower, and then suddenly Kevo and Alaric forced to play up the lane a bit too far into a Trundle. Like, that gets ugly as well. Kevo at least hits level 2 now, managed to pick up a little bit of this wave, but don't know how much that changed the grand scheme of things. Matix needs a bit of a trade there. The brittle proc, nasty stuff, despite the Renekton nominally having a slightly better matchup there. Does get the level 3 and the Conqueror stack, so she better heal up a little bit and be okay with it. May look for the early reset nonetheless.
Oh my days, that bot lane's not looking very fun either.
It's miserable.
It is going to be, I feel like, a 180 for Uzhan as well. Going towards the bottom of the map, he's never going to have priority getting into this river, so he's going to turn around, go towards the top side of the map, and get that Skull Crab over on the top side as well. Let's see if Torre finds something here. I think he's thinking about... Oh, he doesn't have that level 3 for the journey, but he did ward behind the Dragon Pit, just in case Uzhan snoops around there, and then you'll see Danka slowly getting his blue buff, finishing that one up, getting into the river, getting the Scuttle Crab. We do have D-Haste moving, actually, as well, to try and potentially spot. I think he left a ward in the middle of that brush as well.
Do you think he's got, like, a group of other players called, like, D-Dust 2 or D-Ancient to go with D-Haste? You know, is it that kind of vibe? Those who know.
Sam.
Yeah, Georgia. Yeah. I'm very pleased about that one, can you tell?
I can. That's why I'm not giving you an answer.
Well, I managed to disappoint Georgia multiple times today. My work here is done.
Never, man, never.
What is also potentially a little bit, I'm not sure if I'll call it disappointing, just alarming, is this bot side. We said it was likely going to be shove, but that's not just shove. That is a serious issue bot side. That is a 35 to 16 farm advantage right now. Yes, it's a bit of a wave to pick up under this turret, but Kevo and Alaric are being zoned off so much of that farm. It is rough stuff.
I mean, you expected it, right? And especially with that level 1 where they go chunk down really hard. Kevo has to go into the bot lane with 50% HP and the potion gone. That's what it will do to you, right? It's a bit sad. I'm surprised they haven't necessarily had a swap yet to try and swap away from the Silver Bard, but I feel like then you run into a little bit of a trouble where SLT will possibly be fine on the Ornn, farming against Kevo and Alaric, but then you put Matix in a really bad situation where he's actually kind of like pressuring the Ornn over on the top side of the map with the Renekton, so they didn't want to do this. They knew that Kevo was going to fall behind anyway, and I feel like the entire early game does rely on Matix on that Renekton getting ahead in that early, so you definitely don't want to swap him up.
That's it. Unfortunately, guys, have got a brief pause. What that does mean, though, is we get a chance, Georgia, to finish
Give us
off
more
something
CSGO
we didn't get a chance
memes.
to do
Come
yesterday.
on.
No, that's not it. I asked production yesterday, since we're in a pause, whether we could get a poll in chat for the name of the Rift Frog.
Oh, the froggy.
And I am honoured, elated to announce that we can officially poll the name of the frog. We've got two names here, Gruck or Vrog, apparently. Spell it out, chat. What is the name of the frog? Official NLC, chat approved.
All right.
Vrog, 100% so far. You got a favourite, Georgia?
You put either Gruck in the chat or Vrog. Dude, Vrog sounds amazing.
Frog is pretty excellent. Like, I can kind of get behind Gruck as well. Like, it's very even so far. Come on, guys.
To be fair, there's Krugs, there's Grubs. If there was a Gruck as well, I would freaking lose it. I'm telling you right
That's
now.
true.
I would lose it.
Excellent. I'm right there with you. I'm on Frog trade. I think I'm on Team Frog. I think chat's agreeing with us right now. Maybe we've finally got the name for this weird.
Someone said Grok, but it will
clone
get
shit
copyrighted,
shooting
guys. We can't.
Yeah, that's right. I like that this frog is sort of slowly multiplying in front of our eyes. I don't quite know how many frogs there are now. It appears from about 30,000
coming straight from
eyes.
Jujutsu Kaisen, this frog.
Malevolent River Shrine.
He's seen better days. He's seen better days before we named it, obviously.
Yeah, like, look, we've been given a name. We've adopted it. There you go, chat. You are now the proud owners of a river frog.
There he is.
There is Frog. Hello there, Frog. Beautiful work, chat. I'm very proud of you all. We're back into game with a named frog available to us, but it's also an immediate flash. It is Senkux. Dies to the ignite. Flash shield vault from Ozan, and D-Haste helps pick that one up. The turnaround for Verdant gets a little bit of a binding. Magical journey required, but Verdant can't keep their mid laner alive, and the early shove from Verdant will not help keep Senkux alive as they just flash on in.
Man, that's why I love Alaric on engaged champions, right? He makes the roam happen over in the mid lane, blows the flash off of Senkux, grabs the kill on the support, refuses to elaborate, leaves the lane. Like, that's it.
That's exactly what you need. And in fairness, considering bot lane was looking like such a disaster, getting out and making things happen, that's what you need to see. Does get the spell shield off Devon, but is able to speed his way out of the crash down after, so the Sivir not really threatened and gets to back away, but because of that kill in mid lane, it's actually a slightly early gold lead here towards Rich Gang, partly off laning topside and partly off that kill coming on over towards them.
Yeah, if you're an ND carry enthusiast, do not look bot lane at the CS. It's not gonna look very good. You looked, didn't you? Man, it's like an accident. You can't look away.
It's my job. I have to look. I can't not look.
All right.
A lot harder to cast.
All right.
Blind casting.
That's gonna
Go
be
off audio cues alone.
That's gonna be Verdant, first dragon in the game. Again, same as game number 1. And I feel like we had a little bit of a discussion about Kevo coming online onto this area in game number 1. And we're having the same discussion right here. You need the 2 to 5 stacks to actually be in charge of scaling into the late game and actually doing as much damage as possible onto the Smolder. However, we did also say that usually the way you do that is you use your strongest side of the map. You grab 1 or 2 dragons, which will then gain you another 5 to 10 minutes of time in game, which is actually invaluable, especially when you need the time and space to scale. Getting those first objectives is going to be huge. But again, due to that domino effect that has happened over on the bottom of the map, and the fact that Rich Gang are not swapping around to play through that Renekton, put that Renekton towards the bottom of the map, play through him, means that Rich Gang were not able to get their hands onto that first dragon.
Rough stuff. And again, I think normally when you see a Smolder in the game and a Rise in the game, you kind of go, well, look, we've got the scaling advantage, right? But then you look on the other side and you're going, well, it's not like Sivir is exactly a low scaling AD carry. She's notoriously 3 items. And you've got an Ornn and the ornaments that they bring along on top of that as well. And you go, well, actually, is the Skaven as clear-cut as just Smolder stacks?
100% agree. Meanwhile, Alaric is still looking. Senkux, flashless completely. D-Haste, no flash though. Flash in for the rune, but they're getting Pantheon mid.
Oh, they get off the stun. Crash down across Unraveled Earth means nothing, and a flashless Talia is always a target. And Rich Gang come back to the scene of the crime and punish well. Verdant, they're going to roam on down, look to get their own turnaround here. The Cosmic Binding on the pillar. Pull D-Haste into a difficult position. The Tempered Fate will stun up the Rise, but it means he's not doing any DPS. Ozan in danger. As the Aegis Assault comes on down, they lose the Rise, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 as both mid laners, in the grand scheme of things, end up falling.
I don't understand why they walked into the river. I know the Void Grubs were coming up, but mid lane was not pushed. They knew that Verdant was going to be over on the tops of the map to take control, and they just walk in. They just walk in. Rich Gang. This seems so uncoordinated. Now Usan with no ult. They're pulling TPs in. Rise is coming back in. Let's see if Verdant can actually defend this.
Try and get over the wall. The Magical Journey allows them to escape from the back of the pit, which is normally a tricky thing to do. They do get at least a couple of those grubs. The flash away from SLT keeps them safe, but they won't follow. 2 grubs for a flash on your Ornn, for a teleport from D-Haste as well. Happy trade for Verdant.
Damn, that was actually kind of sad from Rich Gang. I feel like they have been so miscoordinated ever since yesterday. You get the kill mid, you push that wave, you crash that wave under tower, someone has to come in response. Then when you see an extra person coming through in response, that's when you dip inside the river because you've got numbers advantage. Senkux was dead. and had no TP. So a little bit disappointing right there, honestly, from Rich Gang. I feel like they need to find their mojo back, and they need to find it really, really, really fast, because this best of 5 series is going by really quickly.
Oh,
boy.
Kevo,
Oh,
try
boy.
to flap away, and it's not going to matter. The stuns come on through, and Senkux gets the kill. It is getting worse. You called it out. They look a little bit shaken from yesterday, and part of the ruthless calculus of how the schedule is working right now is they played yesterday against Lost Returns. They got slammed in 2 games and threw a third where they had the advantage. They have to immediately play today, and it's not looking like they've had much chance to adapt, to overcome, to reset. And it's getting worse again, but the moment I say it, they are looking to punish here. The Tempered Fate will buy a bit of time. Magical Journey's there. The Cosmic Finding's a little early. Senkux does get the Weaver's Wall.
No way, no way, no way,
Shove away.
no way.
Hang on, Alaric's come on through. They've not reached to get him out. The sun now comes on through, gets the full tilt to get a bit of a speed up. The pillar's down, and they've gone too far. The Grand Starfall does not lead to the death of Senkux, and he just gets to flash and walk away.
He doesn't even get to flash. He didn't have flash. He just got out.
You're so right. I thought he must have flashed. He just got to walk.
He just walked out. I need to rewatch this again. I have a feeling his wall might have saved him. I don't know if we have a replay for that production, but I think his wall might have just saved him from this one. Because Story throws a Q, he throws his ult on Senkux, he throws a Q that doesn't hit anyone, he pieces out. He's the one that gets out with the magical journey, but Rich Gang not being able to capitalize, throwing in the Rise ult as well, throwing in everything in the kitchen sink onto Senkux and not getting a kill must really sting. Now, of course, no Bard ult, no Talia ult, and Dragon's coming up in 40 seconds. Reminded that for both of these games, Verdant have been the first ones to push out their waves, get into their objectives, get their control vision down. And this is exactly what Tori is doing right now. Whilst Senkux pushed that bot lane, he will join Devon over on the mid side of the map. Try to help Devon right here, push that wave with a little bit of vision, and then dip back into river.
And look, you've just got the Black Cleaver, you've just got the Sundered Sky, you have got the Grand Starfall, you can make this happen. What's the flash that was blown, not that Grand Starfall? And here is that replay.
Production, you're just MVPs. All right,
there we
so
go.
the wall right here doesn't really block. They just miss everything. Oh my god, they just missed 2 Qs. They missed Pantheon Q, they missed. Oh my god, they missed Rise Q as well.
I mean, it was a good seismic shove, don't get me wrong, but it shouldn't have changed things. Not really. If he just gets to walk away, missing the overloads really stings. Ozhan trading with Danka over that Scuttlecrab, but Danka wins that play. Is now going to have Smite on cooldown for 15 seconds. So might give an opportunity for Rich Gang to start this up. All the while they've got lesser Matix, I apologize, proxy farming. They are on the Dragon first, but Verdant may want to contest this regardless.
I feel like Verdant are waiting for the Talia ult cooldown. Again, I feel like without the Talia ult, it's really difficult to actually get inside this river and split them apart from the set of Rich Gang. Which is a very good sign for Rich Gang right now, as Matix is doing his best Baus impression over on the top side of the map. Again, getting those early dragons will earn you later on an extra 5 minutes that will infinitely help your Smolder. Talking about your Smolder.
Oh no, a Tempered Fate after
That doesn't help.
will buy a lot of time. There's nowhere to go. Cosmic Binding's early again, but it won't matter surely. But there is the barrier, the heal from Mom coming on by, kisses it and makes it all right. Tori, you just have to time that better.
Damn. I don't know what happened right there. Kevo didn't even have to use his flash for that one. Just ends up walking out, just using the barrier whilst D-Haste is pushing the bot side of the map under tower. Matix doing the same over the top side of the map. I will say Panther going mid. Devon, no flash.
Just gone. Gets the solo kill, and there is the Feats of Warfare. And they do get the kill onto the Sivir. No mana for a spell shield. And a nice easy kill for the jungler.
Big from Musan right there. Sees Devon overextending. You'd have both of these summoners, but when you're too overextended, you have to use the flash to get out of the Pantheon ult. It is easy pickings after for Usan on that Pantheon. Now, Rich Gang taking a little bit more. You can see the bites starting to come through, right? Like Kevo, no flashing right there. His first item, Essence River, has been completed. Then you see Usan twice ulting over down that mid lane. Senkux was the first victim. Devon was the second one. So this Pantheon is working so much better for Rich Gang, at least in the early game, to try and dictate a little bit of the pace. Whoever is showing up mid ends up dying for Verdant.
Has not been pretty or easy to say the least. The game now ends up in a very even game state in terms of the gold. They have got the first set of kills towards that feats of strength for Rich Gang. Would have been a slightly more elegant way to phrase that, I am sure. But either way, with those last couple plays have managed to even things up a little bit. The issue still is, though, that the Sivir is in a fairly good position and ahead of the curve. Matic's going to have to be a bit wary here as Torre's going to stun him into a wall. Danker's coming. We'll have a pillar and a redemption. Can start to subjugate as well. I don't know how much fun Matix is going to have as the pillar comes on down. Can keep bonking it.
Oh my
Good hit from
God.
the Q. Flash from Alaric. Will force a flash from Danker, but it is still the summoner advantage there for Verdant.
Yeah, Matic's really nice slip under the tower. Has to burn his flash. But so does Danka. Great read from Alaric. Heading towards that top side of the map. Defending his top laner right there. But that is a Renekton with no ult, no flash. And there's a Rift Herald spawning in 10 seconds. Equally as important, no subjugate for the Trundle, which actually makes it so much easier to play around those objectives, right? The little defenses you have, he steals them away, and then you can just melt their literally paper, whoever steps up from the sort of Rich Gang, but that is not going to be the case. And from my experience in Verdant, if they do not have a key component or a key ult, they will just choose to not contest at all. And seeing their movements on the map right here, not having the subjugate, Dank over on the bottom of the map, no flash, they're just not going to contest the Rift Herald.
Yeah, not super interested, it appears. That one will go over towards Rich Gang, despite the potential ult discrepancies, I guess. Ozan didn't have his either, but they just went, look, it's not going to be doable. Would rather get some shove and play for a little bit later on in the game. We've got a minute and a half until Dragon. Maybe that will be our next port of call. Will be second for either team. Got ourselves another brief pause as we'll come back out to us. Unfortunately, guys, we cannot poll another Vrog name as that was decided earlier. So it's just us now. Georgia, have you got anything else you'd like production to set up a poll for us? You can like put some requests in now.
Wait, was it final? Did we name him Vrog?
Vrog is the name. Yeah, we have got the votes in. Chat has decided. And as far as I'm concerned, that is confirmed and certain.
We have some really talented people in the chat. How about someone create a Vrog DD emote? That would be fantastic. That'd be fantastic. It'd be very fitting to the NLC. We have so many talented people in the chat that make really cool emotes. So Vrog DD would be super fun.
Yeah, I'm hearing
just
it now,
Vrog.
guys. We can just Vrog. I think Vrog is a great emote name. I'm right there with it. I'm not the best emote namer, though, it has to be said. I feel like I'm a little too boring for it on that front. I don't have the capacity to come up with, like, thank you, Aragon, as an emote, for example, which I think is a really amazing, elegant emote that we should all spam.
You're giving dad joke energy.
I mean, yeah, very much so. But have you seen that emote? It's great. Have you seen it? It's Adam at his finest.
Okay, listen. Ashram didn't even have 7TV until, like, 2 weeks ago or something. So
wait, what? How?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What's your favorite like emote then? I suppose that is the question. What do you spam the most?
Ooh, I think XGG.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I've really enjoyed the.
People think it's cursed, but I think it looks really cool. Like XGG looks cool.
My favorite one at the minute, because I just think it's so silly, is have you seen the glue and eelg emotes? It's for basically when it's. So I don't play the bloody horse game. But I've got enough friends, and my brother is spamming the damn.
Oh my god, that one. Okay.
But it's the one about the horse turning into glue, and if you got it wrong, it's the glue turning into a horse. If you need to apologize, it's actually, you know what? It was a great horse in the end. But that has just been
Lizard is also nice.
Living rent free in my brain.
Lizard, Taboo. No, all that stuff.
I bet you got a load of Labubu emotes. I don't doubt it. I'm still slightly creeped out by that really large one, just staring aggressively at the back.
Dude,
of your
there's
head.
literally a Labubu emote of my face in the chat. I don't even know anymore, bro. I don't even know. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Oh, there it is. It's just all caps, Labubu. Fantastic.
There you go. Yeah. How do you feel as an official emote Labubu?
Offended. No, I'm just kidding. I love Labubus. Clearly, wait.
Oh, dear. Okay. Moving away from
There you go.
the weird emotes that our faces has been attached to, because there's quite a few at this point. Game state as it stands, it's been a little slow, a lot of scaling, bit back and forth. How are you feeling as we are sort of rolling into mid-game? We've got Smolder, we've got Sivir, we've seen some good plays and bad plays on either side. Are you favouring either team right now? I'm kind of feeling like we're still waiting for the game to break one way or the other, personally.
My only worry is one thing. For Rich Gang, you've got 4 short range or melee champions. So you've got 2 melees, the support plus Rise who's short range. And they're not particularly that tanky, right? There's no one that can buy enough time for that smolder in terms of teamfights as we're seeing them right here. On the other side, though, for Verdant, you've got Trundle and Ornn buying infinite time, right? Together with the Subjugate as well. Talking about Subjugate, the Bonk, the Flash, the Dead.
Easy. Redemption comes on down to
Damn,
even gets the Bard.
that was my best play-by-play. The Bonk, the Flash,
That was
the Dead.
genuinely...
Dude, that was terrible.
Pretty good. Like, I can get behind it. You know what? You tell you what. If we get it again, I'll try and get it in. I'll make the deal. See if we can make it even more hype. What was it? The Bonk?
This was terrible.
What was it? It was the Bonk, the what?
The Bonk, the Flash, the Dead.
The Bonk, the Flash, the Dedge. Okay. Oh, hold on to it.
It was terrible. Don't copy it.
We'll make some art. At this point, I've committed to the bit.
This is why I don't play-by-play, you know.
Fortunately, I am here to offer some of that particular
Thank you
style
so
of casting.
much.
Teleport coming
Thank
up.
you.
You're so welcome. Glad to be here. D-Haste teleport stops. I will clear up that wave. Not the most exciting thing ever, but will prevent Senkux taking the turret. We are still waiting for feat of strength, and the Grand Starfall's coming on, and that's a little bit more exciting.
That's a flash.
The flash, Tempered Fate, onto D-Haste. Now, can we get the Cosmic Bending timing? We can, much better from Tori this time around. He's going to have to cleanse back. D-Haste does manage to stand deliver. Battle Herald angle. In comes Mob, looking for some angle. The magical journey comes on down, and Danker's in danger. I don't think he's saying thank you very much at all as Kevo gets the kill. And everyone turns up topside from Rich Gang, and they get away with it. Now starting to ult behind. Flash on forward with the shield bolt. Kevo is the one round walk forwards, trying to get the extra kill onto Turret, and Bard is not having a very fun time as under the turret, Senkux falls. And Rich Gang find themselves a huge amount of value. Somewhere else, Senkux did at least get the Pantheon. Devon does get that turret, so first turret still goes the way of Verdant, even if Rich Gang get the bigger win in terms of the immediate gold.
I feel like that was a great skirmish right here from Rich Gang. They'll get the second bop onto the tier 2 tower over in the top lane. They'll get the second tower as well, but now it's SLT tipping behind them. 5 seconds for his ult to come back up, and Rich Gang are on the run.
They're going to look for a Call of the Forge. Got the double knock-up with the Searing Charge, and Devon is throwing ricochets through some skulls. Make it Titanium somewhere out there. The high note's being hit. Danker with the Pillar of Filth. Alaric will try and crash down and out of the way, but it might be just a crash out for Rich Gang, who have overplayed their hand. Verdant will punish with the teleports. SLT flashing over the wall. Brittle procs come on through. The Ruthless Predator and the Culling of the Meek will give Matix enough time to get away. And we'll get the replay, because I suspect it will be an extended one. It's starting right back with D-Haste and Senkux trading out.
Yeah, Senkux has to flash instantly, and I want you to look at Usan right here. D-Haste gets engaged, and Usan breaks them in half. Pops the Rift Herald for a possible exit, but he uses it for an entry, and then Senkux blocks Tori with the wall! Has to immediately take it down, whilst they lose their jungler, right? And once Senkux has been isolated, the flasher from Usan, it's suddenly surprise, an AD carry, Wild in the backline, getting Tori. Whilst on the other side, both Ornn and Sivir for Verdant are pushing their 2 towers over in mid and bot lane. And then after this, the overextension comes through from Rich Gang that we're not seeing. They use the second bop on the tower. They overstay. And I don't know if you guys remember SLT from his Queen, his Aatrox, or his Renekton. But damn, that Ornn looks sleek.
Very clean combos. A little bit of a look in there with the Weaver's Wall. Can't find Kevo, who just flaps over the wall. And now actually Grand Starfall comes on forward. The Seismic Shove is there, but Mom is summoned. Can't find the PTA and the talk with the manager required, though. And Senkux gets out alive. Worth noting, before that play and in the replay, the Dragon did go the way of Verdant. So they're now at 2. Matix trading out. Is on the hunt, comes on down from Devon. Matix will try and slice the dice away, but unfortunately, I think he's rolling natural ones, and the critical failure means Devon is the one getting the kill.
Great stuff right here for Verdant. Naka literally just walks up to him, slows him, uses the pillar. And Devon's right behind him. They end up taking him down. They're gonna take as much as they can from the jungle, which is just gonna be the grubs over on the bot side of the map. Red buff over to Usan in his own jungle, but the whole bot side of the map is lit up red, which then allows Devon to push out that wave. Feeling very, very safe. There are no globals other than the Rise Global currently. D-Haste,
saw that zoom out.
Pretty far away from that one.
The production was showing us all the walls, and I was like, oh, zoom out. TP coming in. I was like, Matix is dead. What am I looking for? And I got too excited, Georgia. It was just showing really cool wall placements that you were shouting at, and I was too eager for more violence. What can I say?
Rodax has been smurfing, honestly. Much love to you guys.
Zooming out again. See, as we're seeing all of these great wards again.
Okay,
Kevo actually
okay,
might
now they're
well be in a
overdoing
little danger. Tempered Fate comes on forwards and Danka mainly looking for that flash bonk of the Dench. The seismic shove as an additional flair to that particular statement. Alaric now gets stunned into a wall. Damage after with those empowered Qs and a double kill courtesy of a boomerang blade. They always come back. This time with an additional head attached.
Usan.
Comes on down. Usan just about fast enough to get over the wall. But they are going to lose the bot lane. They're going to get shove on towards that top lane tier 2. Dehaste is going to at least get an auto or two onto this tier 2. But that is it.
Yeah, he could probably wait for the next wave to come through, but they're TPing in. Potentially they're looking. I mean, Usan's ult is coming up really, really shortly. But 3 versus 4 might be a little rough. The TP coming through, it's 3 versus 5.
I've seen a lot of Intercarn angles. This might be another one. The flips are available. Ulsan can look to steal it away. Down to 1,000 HP or so. Looking to get the spike fight. He's won by Danka. Into the backline though go the Matic's getting a lot of slice and dice damage. Be solo himself. Will go down as Devon goes dominating 7 kills now for this Civic Grand Starfall. Looking for more. But that is a very long way to go. Ulsan flashes, but he's gone so damn deep. The Aegis Assault will not help keep down Devon. Dehaste looking for more. Alaric a little bit split off. He flashes on forward. The Overload's not enough. Knocked up. Mom summoned as Kevo comes on and looking to get some more damage down as the little dragon that very much could. SLT loses as a god to the dragon immortal mythic beings trading out.
Whoa, that was so messy, but Rich Gang managed to at least trade a couple of kills back. That was a teleport, by the way, that you saw from Dehaste right there. So Danka does manage to secure the Atakan right here, but Matix is so strong onto this Renekton, gets into the backline, takes down Senkox that was super low this entire time. And then this is where the run begins for Verdant. Usan will TP in, will ult in, flash onto Devon, and Dehaste doesn't even take his own teleport in the backline because he knows that Usan will die too quickly. But then as Devon overextends, that's where he flashes forward to catch him. That buys enough time for Kevo to come in and clean up SLT as well.
Ends up being a 2 for 3 in the grand scheme of things, but reminder, Verdant did get the Atakan. They get themselves a 24-odd petal lead, which is a lot of extra stats and gold. That will matter in the grand scheme of things as well, as you looked at some of those XP advantages, getting on towards more item breakpoints. The Sivir, who's now at 2.5 items at 7 kills deep as well, is not far away from an Infinity Edge and an extreme amount of damage.
Let's see if that extreme amount of damage is going to come through right here. As the next dragon coming up in 15 seconds, and Alaric getting caught.
Yeah, he is. Takes a lot of damage. The Tempered Fate will mean that Usan in danger. Mom is summoned, doesn't really land on anything. The Cosmic Binding lands onto Kevo! No! You can't die like that as the Smolder double knock-up as SLT finds a flash on into the back. There's a triple kill towards Senkox, who is absolutely eviscerating the backside. Devon gets the kill on the Crocodile, and everyone but Dehaste falls. He's back towards mid lane, and I don't know what he can do to save this turret.
I mean, to be fair, Senkox, like, triple kill aside, that wall was lethal. He splits apart the fight into 2, and then Kevo gets caught. Okay, the Tor give one free, I guess. Why not? Yeah. Dragon goes over to Verdant. On you.
There we go, a slightly awkward ending to what was a very good fight from Verdant as Torre, feeling a little bit too much and ends up getting blasted in the face by a full Rise combo. And some of the exits of these plays from both teams have been a little bit messy. Rich Gang looks to punish SLT, was caught in the back as well. That might be an extra kill. I think it will be, and Dehaste picks up another. That's a big lead now for this mid laner who's got 3 items already and just picked up another 2 kills.
40 seconds, no teleport, Baron up. I'm not sure if Rich Gang want to try to attempt it. They are pinging it currently to possibly get control around that area. Usan is... Okay, if you stand in the pit, it doesn't spawn any earlier. I'm just going to say straight up. It's still 15 seconds, and that doesn't change. And Verdant are pinned underneath their tower, but they could potentially start it straight up. Again, 16 seconds for SLT. His teleport is up. They'll have about 7 seconds to go into that Baron before the Ornn comes through, but the Panther goes in first.
Senkox is jumped on, will manage to flash away, does get the seismic shove off. Tempered Fate on 2, trying to get the stun out. There is the Realm Warp to try and escape. Oh, get them out alive just about. The Subjugate says no, and Senkox burn with the Leandry is actually the thing that confirms the kill. Uzan now in danger, flash on forward, the Cosmic Binding won't get on top of the Pantheon, but it's got nowhere to go. Another knock-up, another seismic shove. Dehaste is looking too damn slow to run away, and Verdant punish. 4 members dead. Kevo will at least be able to run away a little bit, but he's the one remaining member for now. And look, there's a wave in mid lane. Who needs a Baron when you can just break the base regardless?
Yeah, Rich Gang overextend, they overcommit, and the biggest commitment they've ever had to with anyone in this series has been the gray screen.
They may well be looking at another all-important teamfight loss. 3 games in a row yesterday, another 2 right now. Camo exhausted. Nexus turrets under siege. Verdant looking at series points.
Wow. I can't help but notice, like Verdant looks solid. I'm not gonna tell you, they look really solid. Their laning phase, their setups for objectives again, the jobs that we say everyone has when those skirmishes happen or the fights are on the perfect. I can't help but shake off me that Rich Gang is so shaken up from yesterday. I just quite don't see the flair there, and I'm just really worried that this might just be a 3-0. It's going like this.
I'm kind of there with you. Like, again, it was closer until it wasn't. Those objective fights weren't good enough, and that is now 5 games in 2 days that they have lost in a row, and they are now a game away from failing to make Sweden. Verdant, on the other side, are a game away from making Malmo, from making that finals, from seeing exactly what they can do on land. Desk, take it from here. Have Rich Gang got any way back at this point? What's going on up here?
My sweet summer child. Hey, remember when you told me on the pre-show, oh, my glasses are dirty, I can't see well. Can you start cleaning them before you do predictions?
I might have choked. It might be a choke. Or I have done Verdant a favor. And LR.
You cursed Rich Gang.
By cursing Rich Gang 2 days in a row. I was an undercover agent all along. I mean, I think that's really the reality of the situation. My 3-0 prediction for Rich Gang 2 days in a row. I've created the ideal finals with the best teams in the league.
Thank you, Aragon. So nice of you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I just part of my job. Part of my job as an analyst.
What happened? Trouble wants. She wants blood. She wants blood.
He said Rich Gang is the second best.
I did.
He said it yesterday. Yeah, true. What happened in this game, gentlemen?
Yeah, I just feel like, okay, listen, you had a really good side lane composition with, if you had a Fed carry, you could ult to, and we saw a lot of value out of the globals that Rich Gang had, but every single time something good happened for Rich Gang, something better happened to Verdant. It did feel like that every single time. A bunch of kills going over to the AD carry for Devon, and so much value out of the Bard. You know, this is like a FlyQuest classic, and a general really broken duo in Trundle Bard, where you just Trundle Pillar into a Bard ulti. And it's just super, super OP, but feels like Verdant, just at the end of the day, won the game before Smolder came online.
And the thing is, before Smolder comes online, there is supposed to be something else that keeps the team afloat if they're starting to lose team fights like it was happening for them. And that is supposed to be Renekton. But we said before the game started that there are worries about this matchup on Renekton on the top lane, which is supposed to be won by Renekton, but it's not a we win by default and Renekton gets super ahead in this matchup on the top lane. He didn't just not get ahead, he was severely behind and he was struggling on this top lane as well. And if Maddox is not ahead, if Maddox does not have the items and the damage, what does the team do before Kahvo comes online or if Kahvo is dead?
Yeah, I like that fight, by the way. Just there, I completely agree. But in that fight there, I just gotta say, I've never seen an Atacon slow be more effective than that pick into a fight, like a 4-man Atacon slow. I really haven't seen it before, so just an excellent little utilization of the buff there with the Trundle ult to finish off a kill, but no, completely agree with you, Solari. Your bridge is supposed to be the top side for Smolder to take the baton of scaling in the mid to late game. And unfortunately, the game ended with Smolder hitting 225 and the Nexus blew up, right? I think I'll try to call it. Just
as soon as they lost the fight.
It's just a little bit rough, wasn't it?
225.
Yeah.
It's getting concerning. The double global didn't show up, and there you go. Protect the AD carry actually goes online. And Sivir did a tremendous amount of damage. Everybody was on point in this Bard with 5.3k on kill. Damage. Not even like individual.
Woo-wee. I mean, Yo,
Is Toddy the GOAT?
that's
Yes,
kind of a case.
yes.
But can we nerf Bard? Why does this champ do so much damage? I mean, like, this game is kind of crazy. We called it on R5 on the desk, you know? There's going to be 2 immobile carries. They're probably looking for Smolder or Senna into the Severe. That's a Bard angle on 5. The flash popping value is going to be crazy, and he used it really, really well.
Salari, I'm
we
gonna give
nerf
you some
Dora?
news.
Yeah, I'm listening.
No, I don't think so. Have you seen the mustache? He's on point.
Oh, yeah,
You
okay,
can't do
fair,
it. You can't
fair.
do it.
Tell me.
Rich Gang have the possibility to change sides, and with this in line, since they're facing elimination, they now pick blue side. Anything to say before I toss it to break?
I predicted a 3-2. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen, but my prediction still is gonna look better than a certain someone's.
3-2 Rich Gang.
Are you doubling down?
Tripling down. We're going triple. Okay, will we quintuple? Quadruple? Sextuple
I
down?
don't think we have enough games for that, by the way. I don't think we do. But what I
3-2
do
Rich
know
Gang.
is we
I'm
will be
doubling
right
down.
back after the break. Someone
happening.
take Kenna
Lock
over
in.
here. Bet him on shot. Bet him. Words of wisdom. A dice is a better
Can I
analyst
complain?
than this fraud.
I'm getting so much flame, and all I've done is
Yeah, tell
curse Rich Gang. Like, it's not my fault, you know.
Do you
that
want to
Verdant
complain
are
to
gonna
HR?
win. Yeah. It's not
I can
very
give you the
nice.
email.
I mean, I have a list of names in the chat that have been bullying me.
Oh, they've been bullying you.
They have been bullying me.
Okay, okay,
I'll
okay.
try
Give me
deal with
3.
it.
Give me
you 3. There's one
Yeah.
called Basement or something like this. There's
Okay.
one. The dice one was something to do with being a perch.
Uh-huh.
Said a dice was a better analyst than me. And there's another one
Another one?
called the Brent J.
Oh, what did
Okay.
you
Shot
say?
them.
All
Headshot them
3
right
of
now.
them moving forward, I want you to take close attention to this chat, okay? We can't allow that sort of treatment to the desk, so we are putting you all 3 as VIP on the chat.
That'll show them.
That will show them.
Oh my gosh. What is this compilation? A dice is a better analyst. If 10 million people agree with Aragon, I agree with 10 million. If 1,000 people agree with Aragon, I disagree with 1,000. If one person agrees with Aragon, I disagree with them. If no one disagrees with me, then I'm no longer part of this world. What are we doing with our resources and our time? Production!
Thank you, production.
I swear,
Why?
this is... Thank you, chat. Thank you, production. I just love this. But now on the serious note! Match point! Whoever wins goes to Sweden and goes to Stockholm.
Against the bull Aragon in real life.
Oh, dear lord.
Oh, blue side rich gang never changed, and now what happens? They're running out of options. I'm running out of breath.
Malachi though, and they're probably still gonna ban Rumble as well, unless they want to take it from Maddox this time. Maddox has played Rumble previously. They're on the blue side. Why ban it? Just take it.
Yeah, just yoink it. I mean, the Ornn answer's out now. The Ornn Trundle's a typical rotation you take into it. I suppose there's still Galio or like... Is Scion
No,
out too?
there's
No,
no
I think
Galio.
Rumble's
Solid.
pretty
Yeah.
OP. What
Yeah.
about SLT's Awawa? We said Awawa was
Awawa.
something we don't talk about, but that's a pretty good answer into the Rumble if you want to neutralize lane. You're shaking your head, Archer. I blanked on that game, so I have no recollection.
Don't worry, he also
Aurora Flex.
blanked.
Yeah, I also think some things become pretty good later on in Fearless. I think Xayah Rakan becomes pretty OP. Aurora Flex in general, I keep saying it. Also, guys, Azir's still open. Like this champ. Oh, never mind, it just got banned.
That's why he's never been picked.
Yeah. So that's gonna be gone, as well as Varus. I think these OPs are pretty damn OP, and could be considered here. Gwen? Any
When I look
Gwenas?
into these, yeah, you have to remove Gwen, at least on the red side for Verdant, or else Matex is going to take care of that. We've also never, where's the Ezreal for Kevo? It's
True,
another
what's
one.
going on there?
Ooh, a blind pick.
No.
I mean, Renekton is
At least
out.
Renekton's out. I'm not a fan of the blind Ambessa either, but like at least Renekton's out and you don't have Volibear for SLT like the Baus did, right? You can still take some kind of range up. Does SLT play Jace? I don't know if it's in his pool, but like you can get a small CS lead there and do all right. Barring that, Camille can be a decent answer. I mean, we'll see what SLT wants to pull out. There are potential options there.
I'm not gonna lie, Ambessa B1 feels like a very lukewarm take. I'm not sure where they want to go with this draft. I have seen that from Reach Gang already. That didn't really end up well for them last time. It was just yesterday, so the memory is still very fresh. But there are so many answers into her, and she needs to have very specific enemy comp to work as well. Like, you need to have those carries
Aatrox,
you
that's
will
fine.
have access to.
Hey. We had the a special package for
We did.
SLT's Aatrox. Like, he's big. Can he pull it off yet again? Now, what's the reply? Are you going for the jungle right now? You look into the jungle pool is a little bit thin currently, at least the OPs.
I'm looking at Vi,
right?
right?
Is also bad.
Oh, they picked her!
That's locked in?
That's locked
Wait, hang
in!
on. Wait, hang on. Kiana, this
Yeah.
patch, it got
It's
buffed,
a special,
right?
by the
Yeah.
way.
You got an attack speed buff. You clear the jungle. I think at like 304 maybe. I might be slightly off there. It's being picked now. That's interesting.
Oh,
I
that's
like that from
super
Ozan.
serious from Rich Gang. Okay,
And the
finally we have
Poppy
the
is
Varus
big
for
as well.
Gabo, but yeah, the Poppy value here just goes over the roof. They pick her right now. They can still flex her, can give her the Duncan, can give her the Tora, can give her to... No, they cannot give her to SLT. I stopped right there, but that's already more than enough. Give her to Tora, please, because he's gonna find so much value with her on the bot lane, and that limits so much what Alaric can play on the bot lane too.
Yeah, definitely a consideration, right? The Poppy Flex, especially when a bunch of supports are already out. Some range supports might be the answer to pick into it. I mean, we'll have to see. But again, at this stage of the draft, what else is there available for Harding Age? You've only got like Leona left for supports for Alaric to be able to pick up. Also, it kind of soft blocks the Zac support. You know, the last pick Zac for Alaric, who, you know, it's his like kind of his main. We'll see if he wants to pick it up, but I don't think you can into the Poppy. So I love this Poppy angle. I think it's phenomenal.
Take away the Annie, take a little bit from the mid line, from the Haze. What else can you provide? Because it's going to be that control mage from afar for Victor. It's not the easiest one to lane against. What does he have on the champion pool?
The house has to play Hui here. It feels like it will be good here, and with all the range as
Hui
well.
would be pretty good. I wonder if there's like a kind of like a Kali angle, and you just go full schizo into the backline with loads of assassins. Like a Kali can scale up into the Victor match.
Into Poppy!
But the problem is you're into Poppy. Yeah, maybe not actually. You know what? I was thinking maybe I was overcooking a little bit. I like the Hui. Something longer range sounds pretty good too. There, that is. Usually the handshakes into Varus are the Jhin Ezreal. So them being pinched away, like, is there anything you could match with the range? Ashe? Sivir is out. Usually that's a go-to answer as well. Maybe Lucian?
But that's...
I think Lucian's open. That would probably in the eastern regions be the lock-in here for Devon. But we'll see what he goes towards. You definitely want to pick your AD carry and match now. In order to preserve the flex. Kai'Sa into Varus. Kai'Sa into Varus, though, you're just going to get completely destroyed in the early game by the Varus, in theory. It's going to be a really, really rough lane. I think now you've got to consider Nico priority to be Kwai, because it pairs off well with Kai'Sa for the dive, as well as with the Varus. And if you give Nico to Kai'Sa, then you're going to be able to lane really well into the Varus. You could do it in anticipation Karma pick, and then that way you're kind of matching the range of the Nico in advance, but I really think... Okay, you're going to give over a Nico angle. I'm not a big fan of that.
It still works for the draft on the left. They still want to have that additional engagement. They really want to have that additional control on their side. And if they're adding Syndra, Syndra hasn't been picked. No, we've been having her in the previous game. We haven't really picked her. So it's a very long chain of control for each gang that they can work around.
Yeah, so now where does the Poppy Flex go? Is it jungle? I'd like jungle and to see Nico support. I think that'd be great. But they're actually just going to put it ball in into Torre Classic. And the Jarvan into Varus Syndra. That's a great angle.
Okay, may I highlight that the Cataclysm from Jarvan is a great tool in the middle of a team fight for Kiana's ultimate.
True.
I don't know if they thought about that. Hey, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. So when you look in this, Rich Gang and Verdant, final takes. This is match point. Think about this. Eragon, I'm going to start with you for the first time. Please, don't ruin it.
Verdant, absolutely clear. I'm sorry. JK, it's a Rich Gang 3-2. I believe in the reverse sweep right now. The Kiana magic's going to do his work. Ozhan has decided back against the wall. We're going to try something new. They're not going to see the damage coming. We're going to see one-shots galore. 3-2 for Rich Gang.
Okay, Salari.
I'm
study to
convinced
abyss.
brother is Delulu. I'm too scared to argue with him.
Delulu.
Let it be Rage Gang.
Well, Eragon is Eragon. As we toss it to the casters at least one more time. Is it match point? Is this it? Is Verdant moving to Sweden? Do let me know. What do I do with Eragon?
The medical professionals have put their hands up.
Look, all I'm saying is we need to clearly move into that basement so we can join the hate squad. Because what's going on, Adam? Eragon, you gotta let it go. That's Rock!
It's
there he is,
Rock.
beautiful on that tree.
He has his own tag. No, stop it, production.
They're smurfing it. You named it. You got it, chat. Be pleased. I know I am. Potentially our final game of the day here. Vrog officiating our referee for this game.
Yep.
Particularly as we have got Kiana on the Rift in the jungle. 2019 is calling and the LPL very pleased about it. EU a little bit more sweaty, it has to be said, looking back at that particular time period. But for those who don't know, Georgia, she got some pretty crazy buffs in the jungle. She's clearing at like 304 right now.
305-ish, about that, yeah. The best of the best that like will literally one-trick Kiana. They do it at 304. But you expect it around, that 335, 310 marks is really, really quick. She's like back to like Zed super quick in the jungle quick, like Zyra quick. That is some crazy numbers. And last time Kiana was meta in the jungle, it was 2019 and Worlds was in EU. And Junja got rank 1 and rank 2 on EUS, literally rolling anyone over with Kiana and Talon back then. That was a really fun experience for our junglers on the US, if people remember. So I'm excited to see this. However, I love the caveat that you're playing into Victor, Aatrox, Poppy, especially Poppy with a lot of the dashes.
God.
I mean,
Yeah.
You can't be that happy.
Yeah, again, she's a cool champion. Very excited to see her. The burst from Rich Gang is super crazy this game. You land a bit of CC, and then Syndra presses R, Kiana presses R, Kevo presses R, Bessa presses R from Atix, and someone's having a very bad day. But there are a lot of tools to make that tricky, and we'll need to see exactly how it works out. Ozan as well, I think he went looking at the op.gg to see what he'd been building in the background on Kiana. He's been playing very well on that solo queue by the sounds of it, and he is an opportunity builder on Kiana. He's been an opportunity builder on
Hey,
Javan,
listen, man.
and also may well be seeing that.
He's gonna build it on Javan. You have to build it on Kiana, right? So
Right.
I looked at his match history. He has a 57% win rate in solo queue, which is pretty damn high. With the Kiana in 53 games played. So that's a pretty high win rate right there onto the champion. He usually chooses to play Electrocute, and his build path is just pure glass cannon. You've got Opportunity, you've got Ghostblade, you've got Cerildas, you've got Umbral in there as well. So pure glass cannon with cooldown reduction boots. So the quick kind of like, I don't know if you guys have seen any edits of like Chinese Kianas. Like you blink and you miss it, basically.
It is very, very scary stuff. Took a little bit of a safer path there, kind of going towards some of those additional camps a little later, hoping to get through the clear here pretty quickly. Of course, you can drag camps around as the Kiana, waiting for your Q to come back up and just wipe them out with that second Q. You often do QWQ is kind of your max. Starting off just fine here on those clears and should be done on a good timer, though. I'll give credit over to Danker as well. He's smote early to try and get the clear done at a similar break point to the Kiana. They are pathing in opposite directions, so it looks like it'll be no ships crossing in this particular night. And Ozan done a little later than that 3:05 mark, but has cleared safely, which at this point, I suppose, is perhaps what you're after. Don't want to flip too hard in this game.
I think that was a 319 clear right there, and we did say that, you know, OTP's clear with Kiana at around 304 or 305, so that's good for Danka right here, right? That the clear from Usan was much later, because that means that Danka is actually mirroring that Kiana. Now, both are going to press their B buttons right there. They're going to drop down their vision. They're going to press their B buttons, and they're going to reset to grab a few more. However, because D-Haze is pushed up, I see that Danka is looking around that mid lane. He's thinking about it, girl. He's not just going to do it. Oh, he does stay around. Oh, he brought a friend.
Oh boy, he has brought a friend. Torres
I don't think
around,
it's worth
but
it anymore.
is living up to his namesake and just goes wee and walks away. I'm assuming that's what Syndra says. She doesn't walk either. She actually just floats away. So there's not even any walking involved.
I don't like this though. I feel like Danka should have just sent it when he wrapped around, when D-Haze just TP'd in lane to potentially get a flash. Because right here, you're given a lot of free room to Usan to pretty much just wave clear his jungle, full clear his jungle until he gets to level 6, right? Even though we did praise Danka for keeping up with the clear, which was pretty slow, but still he kept up really nicely. Didn't reset, spend a little bit more time on the rift. But this is kind of the life of Javan, right? You're always on the lookout to see if you can get any overextenders to blow their flash on your EQ.
That'll be the plan. And again, if Rich can come into this mid game with some good first items, some good ult trades, yeah, you can play a good front-to-back defensively with Poppy, with Gravity Field, with Cataclysm, all these things. But if you're caught in these skirmishes, if you start losing vision control, the burst from Rich Gang is pretty damn high this game, Georgia.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, again, if you do get in contact with, like, Devon onto this Kaisa or the Victor, you can very easily just one-shot them. But if Tora is there, which he has been in most cases, I feel like he might even be my MVP from the entire split at this point. Yeah, if Tora is there, I feel like it's going to be a really, really difficult task. And I'm really looking forward to see how Usan is actually going to play around Tora's W.
Yeah, that'll be the big one. For those wondering what the big buffs were to Kiana, it's basically a 10% attack speed increase at level 1, with the W, Terra Shape, going from 5% rank 1 attack speed to 15%, and then kind of continuing to scale up from there. It's a massive increase to clear speed in particular. Is that going to matter here as Dragon is being started by Verdant? They're going to see it coming on down, not quite there with the edge of Ixtal, and Danka swift enough on the smite to pick up that Dragon, and Verdant get that one early on the board. And we've seen a lot of early Dragons over the last few series in the NLC.
I can tell you, particularly the last 3 games they've played, including this one, all first dragons have been going to Verdant. I feel like they're using their timers so beautifully, they reset so beautifully, always first onto the dragon. And I feel like, especially when they're playing more teamfight-oriented compositions that want to scale, them getting the first dragons is just a time saver for later on, right? Like, if something goes wrong, you've got the plus 5 minutes. I'll always say that. If you are playing for a scaling team, dragons are so crucial for your scaling into that late game. Oh.
Alright, needs to try flashing away, just goes down. That's unfortunate, goes a little deep there. And Verdant had Danker around, whereas Ozan not quite there as yet. Could maybe look with this level 6, though, for a supreme display of talent. We'll throw down that Elemental Wrath. Find that much. Fun fact, by the way, Kiana's Q2, which has got an ability, is actually called Elemental Wrath, not Edge of Exile. It changes name when she's got ability and powers. But here's that replay. It's just too far from Alaric. Isn't expecting the jungler there.
That's a head scratcher right there. Again, we said that Alaric is the kind of guy that will engage to try and get control of lane, play the skirmishes, get some early kills onto Kevo. However, particularly right here, especially since I saw Ozan over on the bottom of the map, he was looking for the second Scuttle Crab, right? That second Scuttle Crab gives you level 6, and he did get that level 6 after he got the Scuttle Crab. So if Alaric could just wait a little bit, maybe they could just force the wave to build up and try to play for the dive, would have been much better, but Alaric overextends right there, too aggressive, ends up getting punished because Danko was around.
Ends up with the first blood going on towards Torre, who had a very good Bard game last time out as well. Couple missed Cosmic Bindings after the Tempered Face, but on the whole, hit some really key CC. Was all over the map and caused an absolute menace as the game went on and on. But another slow-ish early game. It was Verdant with the early lead. Largely to be said in top side, and obviously after that kill going bot side as well. But SLT on this Aatrox is kind of having his way with Matix right now, and that could prove a problem in its own right.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say right here, I love how you mentioned SLT. SLT is the only one who hasn't swapped. Usually Verdant will keep SLT versus Matix, right? They'll keep him in the same matchup. However, SLT here has managed to get an entire level up onto Matix. He's level 8 to level 7. So they want to use this possibly level 7 Aatrox to play around Rich Gank and those Void Grubs.
Also, remember, has got that supreme display of talent, could look to knock someone to the wall here. Well, there is no chain of corruption, and that's looking like at least one grub going back the way of Verdant.
Maybe two.
Force Rich Gang away. And there's still a smite on Danker. Torres stepping on forwards. Gravity Field comes on down. The Scat of the Week comes on forwards. It's a really aggressive snowball from D-Haste. But look, it's summer. They're not going to hurt that much right now. He just needs to be a bit colder.
I guess, again, it was a little bit too miscoordinated. SLT showed up over the top side of the map, and Kevo was the one sort of zoning away the Aatrox. SLT blows his flash when Chain of Corruption from Kevo comes through. But then once SLT flashes out, Chain of Corruption is no longer a threat, which means that Rich Gang cannot walk into this objective, which is one of the very crucial CC tools, is gone, and Kevo might be gone too.
Infernal Chain's coming down, knocked up. There's the Q3 still available. Cataclysm flashed away from, but there's a flag, a drag. And Kevo finds himself in a very early grave, despite burning both summoners.
Beautiful from Danka so far onto the Jarvan, covering the 2v2 down bot lane when Alaric overextended, and now knowing that Chains of Corruption has gone down, SLT has no flash, but he somehow has to be helped to crash his lane, right? Danka is there, does the Void Grab, sorry, over on the top side of the map, shows up towards the top side, punishes Kevo, takes his flash as well, and now this is a very, very mobile AD carry for the side of Rich Gank. I will say, we rated Kevo really, really highly this split, because he deserved it. He was playing aggressive, he was being very dominant in lane. I will say, these past few series, I've just not seen it. I've just lost the spirit of Rich Gank in general, whether it's from jungle or from bot.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And look, they pushed Verdant down into the lower bracket in the first place, but it was always going to be a tough schedule. Reminder, they played Lost Ratones yesterday, and Lost Ratones dismantled them. There is an old line from the likes of Perks in 2019, which said something along the lines of, we don't aim to win, we aim to traumatize. When you're winning that hard, that decisively, that creatively, it can get into people's heads. And Rich Gang, they had 2 stomps into a close game 3 and still lost. And they come in today and they're now 0-2 down. It's been 5 games back-to-back that they've lost. And it hasn't been easy. We need to see something more from them. They have been creative in the draft. They've got the opportunity on Ozan, who has often been another one of those star carries alongside Kevo. I want to see them make some proactive plays. I want to see them get more than just a couple Pantheon ults like they did last game. Or it really will be a very ignominious bow out of playoffs.
Absolutely agree. Saying that the opportunity has been locked in, which is a pretty big spike for Kiana. Usually assassins do really, really well on their first items. Actually, a pretty big boost because assassins are pretty solid in terms of their AD or AP ratios, and that first item really just locks them in. No matter if they're AD or AP, right? I'm thinking like Gunblade back then for Akali and Katarina. Sure. I'm thinking Ghostblade for Kha'Zix and stuff like this. So first item's very, very important. However, Tora and Danka, they've clocked Usan. They're gonna stick around. Alaric's coming through as well. This might end up being a 4 versus 4 because Senkax is also hovering around the both side river. They're just gonna mirror each other's reset, and everyone goes back to base.
You just wondered, didn't you? There were a couple cancelled resets and going, well, that's quite a lot of members around here, but no one pulls the trigger, and I think probably wisely so. We could have seen a bit of a bloodbath there, which neither team would have been quite prepared for. Still, look at the top of the screen, doing a bit of a check in here. Verdant with the 2 early kills, Verdant with the early gold lead, Verdant with the early objective lead as well. It's putting them pretty happily in the lead here in the early game, and Rich Gang yet to really find a good play of their own.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like the more Verdant slow this game down, the better it is for them. Look at the first items that are coming through, right? As Alaric misses his E onto Danka. It's going to be a Rod of Ages, a very tanky Victor. You know what that means? He doesn't get one shot later on by Kiana, right? This Javan eventually will have a Guardian Angel, SLT with a Serax or a Guardian Angel of his own, tanky Poppy. Suddenly you've got a Kaisa that could potentially even have an Hourglass later on. So all of these champions will have ways to get out of that one-shot potential. And again, this is Ushan's pick. They did pick it very, very early. They've prioritized him very early, all 3 drafts in this particular one. And this is his time to shine and find angles and opportunities. But Verdant are playing so cleverly, they're just not giving any openings. If they're just not ready to go for an objective, they'll just drop the objective. And that's very clever of them.
See whether they can make it happen. And I was going to make a silly pun about he found the opportunity, but it was inside of the shop. But right now he's found an opportunity onto Danka, who's immediately blasted Flash Audacity. And a supreme display of talent is more than enough for Osan to say thank you very much.
Hey, that's exactly what I meant, right? Now he gets to steal his red buff. He gets to go on with an extra kill in his inventory. As in, talking about red buff, Tori's everywhere, man. Like, I don't know, I'm scared of this guy. I'm scared to open doors. I'm scared to open windows. I'm scared to open cupboards. I'm scared to open anything thinking that Tori might actually be in there. So great cover by the Verdant support right there. Again, so on point with his roam and his knowledge around the map and where to be on the map. And Usan will get the kill, but unfortunately for him, nothing else from the enemy jungle.
Does he really, I suppose at this point, happy enough to get the goal where he can, gets to stack up some more of that. AD is already up a fair amount of CS, and again, Kiana right now is clearing so damn fast with that increased attack speed. Add some AD to it, and you really will race through the jungle, about to reset here and look to get some value. But again, all it really does is bring the gold back to even, and when you're looking at Verdant's comp, bluntly, they are quite happy to play this slow and steady and get towards the 2-item breakpoints, the level 11s, the stacking on the rower, all of those things we've already been talking about. And Rich Gang are going to need to make these first items count, or I think things do get dicey. There's a look at the total gold. Ozan doing very well on this. Kiana is now the #1 gold leader in the game, just about. Though Devon not exactly miles behind either on this Kaiser.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been a very long while since I saw a Rageblade first item build for Varus.
Yeah, very
but
true.
with a couple of hits on his AD, on his Q, he has now converted more into your hyper carry type of a champion down the bot lane that needs time to scale. We particularly see Blade the Ruin King coming in first, but this time around it's going to be the Rageblade. But yeah, on hit, a lot of attack speed coming through on the Varus. It's going to be the case. So again, a lot of scaling for both of the sides. But when it comes to execution, obviously it's going to be much easier for Verdant since they have a more designated front and back line to want to play the game with.
Osan with a little engage onto Torre, who ensures his presence was steadfast. Did manage to find their way into the jungle, but that ward there just over the wall spotted him looking in, so they knew exactly where he was going. But Herald started. Verdant, I think, might actually want to contest this. Keep his verdict available. Can look to knock someone away. Banana Bush in control of Rich Gang right now. Flashed on into the start of the wall. Turn around and they just blown them up. The Kiana does not get to press R. There is no talent to display.
Ooh, that looked really rough right there, particularly because Rich Gang forgot one of the bigger factors of all of this image, which was Your top lane doesn't have TP. SLT had TP, so even if that was on even ground, SLT would always be able to join, which as you see on the top right corner, he does press his TP button, he gets back in. Torres throws 2 members out, so that becomes a really big numbers disadvantage. So not only will that Rift Herald go into the pocket of Verdant, the second Dragon will as well.
It's tough.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, man, but this is not looking good for Rich Gang, and this is not looking good for DA. He's got a big Aatrox coming his way.
Oh my days, Sundered Sky and Deathbringer's Down to Auto just gives him all of his HP bar back. There's nowhere for DAs to go. We're getting a split screen to show exactly how dangerous it is. In fact, we go back towards the river as, of course, Verdant pick up the dragon, kill onto D-Haste. Bot side, Poppy went down towards Matix as the public execution was used. Senkak's now under this turret all by his lonesome. Has got Danker around, and Ozan can be really talented if he wants to. Supremely so, one might say. Flash away. Nice. Solar Flare comes on down, and they missed the display of talent. No one was interested, and the gravity field came on down. Cataclysm also down, and Danker gets to slide away. As everyone else stays alive, it becomes a 1-for-1 in the extended run of things. The additional advantage for Verdant was, of course, that dragon, and a big demolish proc on that tier 1 top side.
They've pretty much taken anything. The 2 Void Grubs, the Herald, the 2 Dragons. 1 Dragon is the only thing that Rich Gang have taken for themselves, central neutral objectives that really does matter on the map right now. But the most important thing is that, yes, you blow the flash onto Senkax. Yes, you lose that bot lane tower, but Senkax gets to stay alive. Danka was around to cover for him. Devon, in the meantime, takes a big mid lane tier 1 tower, which will then open up the map really, really easily for them. Especially when you're Kiana, you kind of want those lanes pushed, because the more fog of war for your opponents, the more angles you have to make plays with an assassin, right? With Alaric through a wall, you've got the Hex Flash. Now, this is not necessarily going to be the case, and Devon, with huge respect on that mid lane wave, Torre around as well, doesn't get threatened at all by 3 members of Rich Gang. It's going to be another wave bounced back towards Rich Gang, and slowly but surely Verdant are taking firm control of this game.
Keep our eyes on it, and again, credit to Devon's had a really good series so far. Fantastic Sivir game on the Kai'Sa here, as well as the gold leader in the game very happily gets that turret. And again, sometimes we put a lot of focus on the names we know, the SLTs, the Senkoxes, the Torres, who have been around that little bit longer. But Devon, only been playing since 2023, had a good run of it on the Serbian team in Crvena Zvezda, who of course very famous as Red Star in English, had been an ERL mainstay for many, many years, and has now come on over towards Verdant and is having a very, very good showing today. May well be going towards NLC finals if this game state is anything to talk about.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the sole point of the best of 5s, if you will. 1 game away from Stockholm, 1 game away from facing Los Ratones. And I will say, I did pop into Nemesis chat early on, and I asked him who he thinks will make it to finals. He did say Verdant.
What did he say?
He did say Verdant. And I'm kind of inclined to agree. I mean, it seemed like Rich Gang didn't give them much of a challenge yesterday. So maybe Verdant will in their own right.
That's the plan, right? They've got a lot of experience. And in fairness, when we did see Lost Returns versus Verdant, it was a pretty close game. Couldn't quite finish up what they started in a lot of those games. Again, the Lost Returns magic, the plot armor was a little too magical at that point, but a stun there on to the knock-up of 2 with the keepers. Verdict needs to back away, sort of flared down. Danker coming on over the public execution, the supreme display of talent, but the turnaround, Ozan in danger. SLT in the back line of it all, looking for some more damage. God. They will blow up that Kiana, the Empress of Ixtal, having a really unfun time of it. Bit of regicide coming on through, and they get another kill with the Hextech Ray across the wall. Varus burned alive. They lose 2 for just the trade of Torre, and they've got a Herald charging down bot side all the while.
Yeah, if there was just a call, an ambulance, but no for me kind of situation, that would be for Torre right there. I will say, though, huge misstep from Torre. He walks up. Yes, he gets the Q. Yes, he gets the R. There was no one around him. There was no one around him at all. It was a Yordle in a dream, and that was about it. He finds Kevo, fantastic E on the wall, into the R, channels in the Q as well, gets the pop from the Q, but then he gets engaged upon. Kiana ulted, and Bessa ulted, but everything was put onto that Poppy. So all the resources spent to kill the support, and then the Avengers arrive from Verdant and clean up house.
Kai'Sa's got ult, Victor's got shove. Aatrox doesn't even need TP, was already in the mid lane, so collapse time, while not quite fast enough to keep Torre alive, was more than enough to go threaten that backline. Before we were very excited for this Kiana and stuff. We said there's a lot of these champions that make things quite tricky. Torre again, though, is very alone, but steadfast presence is more than enough, apparently, to escape with the aid of a blast cone. Kevo now needs to be very careful. Void Seeker lands and 3 people are around. There is a killer instinct. Alaric now potentially in danger, but Eclipse Shield and Verdant don't overplay.
I just saw Danka miss his Q on purpose, because if he took the flag and drag, I feel like he'd be way too deep into enemy territory. So he throws the flag, he throws the Q, and last second changes the position of his Q cursor to not actually connect to the flag. But this is going to be Dragon number 3 for Verdant, as Torre is baiting Rich Gang into another skirmish on the tops of the map, and that's a free Dragon for Verdant. Sole point.
Captain Jax the cleanse, and now the supreme display of talent comes on down, but SLT goes, yeah, I don't think I care. As he's got a world ender rolling, and Ozan, the early plays, the early damage, the excitement that was there, it's kind of petering out at this point as Verdant begin to grind through the gears. And the pressure becomes inexorable, the damage insurmountable. Kai'Sa finds another Devon, looking for more. Torre with the heal keeps himself outside of a kill threat range from the Unleashed Power. TP towards the bot side, because all the while Senkux has just chunked away and siphons the power of the turret. Aatrox is topside, and so is the Atacana. You just had your Syndra TP away. That's surely a free Atacan.
That reset that got interrupted right there, which also resulted in a kill, was much bigger than the kill. It stopped the Syndra from basing and resetting down bot lane to stop the tower from going down. The tower ends up going down, Dijes has to TP, which means that Atakan is free, because 1, Usan is dead, and 2, Syndra is stuck down bot lane, which would initially make this a 3 versus 5 if Rich Gang were to head up to try and contest that one. This is a 3,000 gold lead now in favor of Verdant. We have sold in about 4 minutes as well for themselves. SLT getting engaged on by Matix. I think he's going to be more than fine, as on the other side, Kevo is dead.
Oh, yes he is. They're going to get the Solar Flare to slow people down, but Devon goes over the wall, and when it Icathian rains it down well paused. SLT finally gets his world ender back up and goes, yeah, I think I can win this one. Gets a decent chunk there, gets the passive auto. Bot side, Alaric is taken out as Torre charges him into the wall and hits him with a hammer. Judgment, death.
No spirit left in Rich Gang. No much hope either. I mean, this composition, if you don't get that Syndra Kiana rolling right, becomes really, really difficult to come online later on. Level 16 for Senkux, 2 points. 3 points, sorry. Onto that ultimate as well, and Kevo walks up. Not too far. All Devon has to do is connect the W. He just takes the train back in with the R.
Over the wall goes Devon with the flash, doesn't get taken down by the Dark Sphere and gets another. And Torre just gets to jump onto Alaric, who can't get towards the blast cone in time. Senkux potentially under threat. Also will go on through Supreme Display of Talent, but again, we said the rower build makes him so damn tanky. He's still got a Seraph shield, and Torre steps forward, gets a shield, double knock it with the Keeper's Verdict, gravity field down, prevents too easy of a follow-up. Danka may need to come and defend the Poppy, but she gets to back away, flag and drag away from Danka, and Rich Gang can't even find the kill on the isolated Victor.
Yeah, it just becomes really problematic, right? All you've got to engage right there is the Leona or any type of CC, maybe the Embezzled. You don't have the Embezzled, you don't connect with the Leona, so it just becomes really difficult. Again, think about all the defensives that are coming through. Suddenly, you've got Aatrox, who's really big, levels 15 versus level 13 Kiana. You can't really one-shot that. Then you've got Black Liver, which makes Javan really tanky. The Rod of Ages, which gives you so much HP. And then I was like, maybe an hourglass for Kai'Sa. This guy doesn't need a freaking hourglass. He's 3,000 gold up.
So, and he's still got the ult to work with, and he's got
Lord.
Chaos on top of all of that. There's the pullback with the
Help.
Infernal.
Someone help.
SLT does not care. Torre will charge forward with the heroic charge. Osan just about surviving. Soulfang comes on down, but Devon in the backside finishes up the Empress. And now Kevo's in danger as well. Supercharger away. Unleashing the power will finally bring Kai'Sa low, but they're all in a cataclysm. Flag, drag, Torre gets a shield from a buckler. Matix trying to Drake count step away to safety, but over the wall goes SLT. Flag and drag down to hell as Aatrox, this Darkin, this ender of worlds, is ending Rich Gang Summer.
We talked about 2019, but we forgot about the shy nightmares we got from his Aatrox. Back around that era, and SLT is bringing back a lot of these memories. Verdant walked into this best of 5 so decisive. They played so decisive. And they're looking clean. Potentially making their way all the way to Stockholm. All that stands between them and that is a 40-second timer and a dragon fight.
3 items now done wherever you care to look. I'll note SLT even went towards the voltaic. Cyclosword, he was always a carry at heart. And Danka finds another standard into Dragon Strike. Better known as a flag and drag. Ozan now needs to run away. He'll Terror Shape for a moment, throw down some grass, but and Ixtal's impact looks pretty light today. We'll look for a supreme display of talent and misses! No talent enough to be found. Matix jumps around a fair amount, might get a kill on the Danka, but he's still got another shield all the while. Devon gets to the backline, killer instinct of his own. The steadfast presence prevents any more stepping of Drakes. And they'll lose the Ambassador as well. D-Haste alone must find a way to clear the wave, or their turrets are falling and their base shortly after.
The rats are having a party when the cat's not home, but when the cat's dead, the home never belonged to that cat to begin with, and 3 members of Rich Gang are dead. Danka dives in, and D-Haste is no longer for this world.
Oh. SLT lands a final Darkin Blade. It is all systems go. Verdant green lights across the board. The engines are rolling, and it's flying them straight to Sweden. They have a date with Los Ratones.
What a fantastic best of 5 from Verdant. Congratulations to them for making the finals, honestly. What a great run for them throughout the entire year, and actually coming into this best of 5. I wanted whichever team wins this best of 5 for it to be a 3-0, because I want the best possible finals for the NLC. We had 4 teams, Nord, Verdant, Rich Gang, and Los Ratones, that look top-notch going towards EMEA Masters. 3 of them only made it, and 2 of them are only in the finals next week, live from Stockholm. Verdant, fantastic gameplay, and I feel like they might just give the Rats a run for their money.
That'll be the plan. And on the other side for Rich Gang, it's a rough day for them. It's been a rough couple days, but look, they get a chance to reset, they get a chance to prepare for EMEA Masters, sort out some of these issues, and find a way to come into that tournament so much stronger. And again, they deserve so much praise for making it this far when so many of us kind of counted them out. It's another almost ran, another team somewhere out there that weren't going to be a Verdant, weren't going to be a Nord, weren't going to be a Los Ratones, and they are still the team joining Los Ratones, joining Verdant and EMEA Masters, and they should be proud of that, even if these last 2 days have been a little hard. Georgia, last thoughts for the day before we throw it to the desk?
Well, first of all, thank you to everyone who tuned in throughout all of our 3 splits. I feel like NLC for 2025 is concluding next week in Stockholm. I'll see you all guys there, and please, 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 if anyone is around in Stockholm, if you do see me, poke me and I will give you one of the goodie bags. Trust me, you're gonna want what's inside those goodie bags. Thank you so much for tuning in, and initialize your thoughts about all 3 splits, I want to say.
I don't know, it's kind of amazing that I get to be here and cast this league, these players, these teams, with all of these amazing people. I cannot wait to watch next week with these incredible teams going there. You heard George's little sales pitch. It's going to be a great time, guys. Get on those tickets for Leagues Disrupt. I will be looking forward to watching those incredible games with the incredible crew that will be on board with it. Desk, how incredible was this series? How incredible were Verdant? It's your job from here to break it all down.
Before we even start, thank you Initialize, thank you Treble, and good cast as always. Good cast. Always a pleasure to have professionals like you. With that in mind, I agree with Georgia. I agree with the idea. I wanted a 3-0 for the team that would win today. They have to be at their best performance if they want to face LR at its minimum capacity. And that was a true display of skill that we got to see today from Verdant, no?
No, absolutely. And I think given how hard LR crushed yesterday, if we saw anything less than 3-0, if we saw any kind of struggling, we would go into this finals like, yeah, there's no chance.
Is it a final?
It's just gonna be another LR 3-0 walk in the park. You know, it's gonna be one of those. But no. Actually, now you've got a little bit of suspense going in, and I like that.
Now, we deserve more than a 3-0 finals, and I feel like with Verdant, if they show up in the same form as they did today versus Rich Gang, we are going to have more than 3 games.
Yeah, before I even go deep, I also like to praise Rich Gang for getting 3rd place in Summer after they getting the 9th place during Spring.
It's a glow up.
It's a big glow up. And I mean, the players did their best. For Verdant, keep in mind, and this is just a few replays again. Tore, I swear, please adopt me. The idea is
Same.
Verdant was the team that almost took LR during seeding stage. Remember? It's good to see them like this. There's hope.
There's hope. I think Verdant actually look incredibly strong right now. I'd say this game, you know, it just reaffirmed to me and that I just think Tori is actually the complete GOAT. And if there's going to be any kind of difference maker, it's going to be through Tori. I think Tori, Danka, this top side is phenomenal, really, with Senkux as well. It's looking like a really well-rounded Verdant right now from everything we've seen in recent series, and they've leveled up as the split has gone on. It was a bit shaky at the start, right? You can't deny that. But as it's gone on, you can't do anything except praise their improvement.
Yeah, and honestly, to me personally, there are already so many matchups that I'm looking forward to see next week with Verdant facing Los Ratones. I can't wait to see how SLT is going to step up, because in this game that we saw right now, he was a massive reason as to why the team won, because this was a 9-0 Aatrox by the end of the game with literally 0 anti-heal on the left team. It feels like at some point they gave up on the idea of ever killing that champion.
You popped the question, Aragon, of how do they kill this Aatrox? I'm like, hey, you have to throw everything, and even then, and then you run out of ammo.
Yo, I respect the Hail Mary of the Kiana, but the problem is when you come to this composition against the Aatrox, right, like you're saying, your DPS relies solely on being ahead and just bursting him, or having the Varus DPS do enough to be able to do that. But then the Varus is answered with things like the Jarvan, and you're just really going to struggle this entire game. So yeah, SLT, he took advantage of that, won the lane, had counter pick, and you could see exactly how much work he did. 15k damage on kills. What a beast.
Hey, package real for the SLT Aatrox in Sweden?
Yes, please?
Yeah.
But with the voiceover this time.
Yeah, I mean,
the voiceover.
SLT is becoming Aatrox, right? It's becoming. You know how Nemesis is like Syndra, kind of? Like, it's just his champ? We kind of got the Aatrox of the league.
You know what's gonna happen?
Oh, I know.
Although Tore, I mean, he's on a different level. Look at this, like Victor with only 2.9k, like damage on kill, and even his overall damage is quite low. This is how shining that Jarvan and Aatrox and Tore were bringing, like the light they were bringing into this game. Just ridiculous amount.
Yeah, it's not. These numbers are not there because Victor was bad in any shape or form. It's just that everybody else was just so hot up there. Everybody else was doing so much in those team fights and popping up so massively that Victor just simply did not have the place to shine. But that is the beauty of Senkux. He doesn't always need to shine. He can be a very good supportive mid laner as well.
Looking at that photo, by the way, from Victor was also confusing. I haven't seen that splash art in a long time, so I was
wait, was I just used to it? Oh, wait, actually, you're right. It's the old Victor.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's the old one, you know. Sometimes evolution is not glorious. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
With that in mind, hey, Verdant going to Sweden. I think it's a blessing as well. This is a team that has been struggling and really trying to get into like the top of the league. It has always been Nord, LR, and whoever shows up. Either Bulldog, either like Ruddy. Verdant finally put the feet like, hey, we deserve this, and it's no longer Nord.
I gotta say, I'm just remembering one thing about Aragon. Maybe he's not as fraud as he tries to be, because right in the beginning of the split, he said that to everybody. He said that Verdant are third, if not second, best team in the league, and everybody was like, "Whoa, what are you talking about?" Because Nord were still not. Rich Gang were, just starting to pop off. Yeah, you are getting praise. Shut up and listen, please. And then this guy comes in on the second day of the broadcast,
the hell?
and he goes, "Verdant are going to be the second best team," and everybody shushes him. But boy, we were actually the wrong ones.
Even a broken clock is right 2 times in there.
You know what worked in the end was just looking at average elo. And Verdant had a higher average
boring.
It did. That's quite funny.
I swear. Yeah, I won't forget that, chat. Aragon, don't you need to do something?
Verdant, look, listen. I accept lots of forms of payments, PayPal, Stripe. I take a direct wire transfer to my bank. You're welcome for cursing Rich Gang. Same with you, Lost Returners. If you want to compensate me in any way, all I'm saying is that I did you good. I did you good. I was a powerful curse, and you used it. So
what
welcome.
A weird
That's
apology
a very
that
weird
is.
Apology.
But also, if we talk about weird, you know what? You're not ready for the interview. It's the only one. The boss of Verdant. Bring him in. Dustman, where are you? Hey! Long time no see. Long time no see.
Long time no see. It's been a few months
You happy?
in Copenhagen. Yeah. Of course I'm happy. What is it? It's
Remember when we were talking in Copenhagen?
2 years ago we made finals? I'm pretty happy, yeah. I told you in Copenhagen that we were gonna go next split, right?
We had that conversation. I was like, hey, man, build a super team. Come on, man, build a super team. There you go. And this one clicks. I'm really happy.
We're not gonna mention names. This is also outside of NLC. Remember the names you gave me? None of them made it.
Hey, touche. Touche. I'm not gonna say anything else. But do let me know something. Going to Sweden, obviously, big pride on your team. This roster also clicking, but in front of you, there's a match. We can't be gentle about it. They just can't be defeated. What changed?
Do you want like the honest answer of what's gonna happen in finals, or do you want the dance grand answer?
Okay, let's do the second one first, and then do a brief honest answer, okay? We'll do that. Give me your personal answer, and then the honest one.
We win 3-2. Do you want the honest answer now?
Yeah, give me the honest now.
We win 3-0.
Wait, what? Touche. So, what was the goal when you picked this mantle of taking care of Verdant? What was the main goal, and did you achieve it?
I think we achieved it today, yes. I think let's be honest, in this league, getting to finals is the main goal for everyone outside of LR, right? I mean, it's a failure if they don't. Beating them, I'd like to beat them. Is it possible? I think it's possible. Let's put it that way. I think it's very possible if you show up and really put on your A game for every single game you play against them. It's possible. I don't think there's room for many errors, right? But it's possible.
There's no room.
It's possible, right? I believe the boys can do it. But then again, you never know. But you will find out late August in Sweden, right?
Yeah, a week away. What do you have to say? Final words.
Final words. Looking forward to see everyone there. That's basically it. And I'm so happy we finally made it.
Lovely. Sounds
and
lovely.
Also, I have one last thing. No, actually two. Remember 14 days ago, I told Dockling, see you in Sweden. Told you that they could all get Happy Meals while watching us play the finals. That offer still counts, by the way. Don't worry about it. Okay? Still counts. That's basically it.
Thank you so much, boss. Always a pleasure to talk to you. I'll see you in Sweden.
I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy
really like him.
Meals.
Yeah, he said like, hey, for Nord and
Those
for
have
Rich Gang, they
nuggets.
can buy Happy Meals because they can spectate from afar. Yeah, and he made it. I just need those chicken nuggets, by the way. I just need this. Well, gentlemen, it's time to see the bracket for the last time, at least online.
Yep.
How we made it here. The biggest surprises for you. Like, hit me.
You want to go for Slurry?
I'm thinking there were I mean, Nord has to be the biggest surprise, I think. The fact that we're not seeing Nord in the finals
see that.
is very heartbreaking, but unfortunately Nord, I don't know what happened within the team, but they just lost it somehow throughout this split. We had such high hopes for them, but unfortunately,
I completely agree with you, right? I was just going to reiterate what you were saying. I completely agree with you. I also think, I just want to say that I think the same happened with Rich Gang, but one of the biggest things to me is just how many 3-0s there were. Like, what is that about? What a weird timeline where I feel like 90% of the games, series were 3-0s or 2-0s. So, yeah, teams that did well kept ramping up and doing even better, whereas some teams really fell by the wayside. Nord fell apart, and Rich Gang fell apart. Definitely not as good as early on in the playoffs. And I think by the end of it, it's culminated in the best possible matchup. I completely agree. I think it's going to be a phenomenal finals. And what a journey we've had. It's been nice. It's been a treat to be here for the summer. And I thank you guys for that.
And it's gonna be a hot day as soon as we jump into Leagues Disrupt, and you can buy your ticket to Stockholm, Sweden, Hovet Arena. This is it. Use the QR code. This is your last opportunity. Well, you have an entire week, but regardless of that, I want you to meet us up there. Trouble has some goodie bags apparently.
Oh, yeah.
She said it. So chase Trouble on the venue. I don't know. And if you see me, do say pineapple, and I'll give you a hug. That is all I can promise. Also,
Duckling
Duckling
gonna
will
be
be cooking.
Good.
Yeah, he's going to be cooking chicken nuggets throughout the entire event. That's his role, that's his job. But now it's your job, Aragon. Final words before we go live.
I just want to say it's been an honor working with you, especially Solara. Since this is your last day of esports, I think it's been a blessing to be final day, and I've worked with you for a long time now, since last year on EMEA Masters, and I thought you've been great the entire time, every single time I've worked with you. So, just thank you for being part of esports and the NLC, and I hope everything going forward works really well for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. My final words are that I casted with you for the first time in Berlin. You were my first co-caster in English. Yeah, that's when I said the same thing I'm going to say to you. Hey, you have a lot of talent. I really like your vibe. I really like the hype you bring into this game. You can see it. You can see that you like this. It has been a pleasure to work with you for how long we worked together. We went to gym together. You suffered a lot on the gym
I
with
remember
me.
that. I remember that. That was funny.
Leg day.
Oh,
Absolutely.
And this is
Suffering.
your last day on esports, regardless of where the world takes you. I know you will thrive. That personality, you can't ignore it.
Yo, chat, get some
Just
hearts
too
in the
big.
chat, yeah? Some hearts in the chat. Go on.
Hearts for
little
Solari.
bit of
This
a
is our last
spam.
day at esports. Our teacher is leaving, but you brought us a lot of lessons, and we'll take it with us throughout our entire lives. So, Solari, you end the show. I'm no longer the host.
It has to be Professor Solari to end the show, though. Chat,
It has to be.
class is still in session, and I have one last lesson to teach you. First of all, it's been an absolute pleasure to be with NLC this year, and I feel like all of us can say the same because we've had so many teams and players we fell in love with throughout this year, and such incredible games and series. Like, this has been a blast. This genuinely has been the most genuinely fun league throughout the whole world, and I don't think anybody can argue with me on that. But one last lesson is, I want to see all of you on Leagues Disrupt. I will be watching from right here, from this room, but I will look in the audience, and I know all your faces, I know all your names. I will make sure that the attendance of the class is going to be full, because this show, everybody, you cannot miss. This has been an absolute pleasure and an honor, and don't forget that we have to shut up and disrupt!
In the north, where the ping is low and the egos are high, there is only one rule, baby. Shut up this round. Shut up this round. Shut up this round. Shut up this round. Ooh. Ha ha ha. We back at the dream in a dodgy old strap. Got chaos in my trunk and a rat in my hat. The GPS in danger, but I proxy like a chef. It's bossy time, baby. That's a good death. Got chased by bulldogs, no bark, no bite. Told to touch some grass, but that's on Verdant side. Could have gone bot, but I followed my feeling. Guess what, baby? We're in Sweden. More than just some players, it's the retired legion. Say just a game, but it's more than a feeling. We're breaking the silence, volume increase. Shut up, shut up, shut up. It's time for Leagues Disrupt. We fight through the pain, cause we call that healing. From Solo Q to the northern region. They fight for the glory, the thrill, so just shut up, shut up, shut up. It's time for Leagues Disrupt. Ooh. Wait, you're not convinced yet? Okay, let me tell you why you need that ticket. Double time. Reddy's got a plan, but it's looking kinda sus. I'm toxic like sins, like ping as I run. We're from the north with the dodge fights. You might say our draft is weird. Hey, we won him here twice. Los Ratones quick sneak on the run on the highs. We got Crown is cooking with a snap, super size. Belly be lurking in jungle, so sticking my thick as a water game when he shows that puppy pick. Back in the north, so storm in July. Young cuz gets first blood, blink once and you die. Bring legends back, shares like a Marvel arc. Visit such a split, pushing and we call that art. I'm spitting like ass, got skill in my shots, critiquing harder than Jinx when she pops. So it says the IDLs are on a decline. Esports news only get views with us as a headline. More than just some players, it's the retired legion.